Hello and welcome to Oculus, the Unspoken Tournament Grand Finals. We're here at the Mixer New York City studio at the Microsoft store, the flagship on 5th Avenue. Beautiful store. I'm Ryan Musselman, aka Optic J, and this is my fellow shoutcaster, Sipe. What's up, buddy?
Dude, what is going on, man? Thanks. It is great to be here. Oculus has teamed up with Microsoft, Insomniac Games, Intel, Asus, and ESL to host the ultimate esports battle for magical dominance. Tonight, our finalists will fight to destroy their enemies in a virtual world, fighting as dual spell casters.
Yes, keep in mind, this isn't just esports. We've
not.
talked about this before. This is VR esports. As we all know, esports is a growing major industry with people spending more hours watching streaming content all over the world, right? People like us have kind of made a career out of it.
We've done okay. We've done okay.
Yeah.
Now, with Oculus providing cutting-edge VR hardware like Rift and Touch, esports competitors can have the fully embodied experience they've been waiting for. We've got some terrific gameplay coming up, but right now, let's meet our host, Anna Roisman.
Thank you, guys. Hey, what's up? I'm going to be here stage side. I'm going to be talking to the players throughout the night. Also, I'll be following along on social to see what you guys have to say and talking with you in chat. So if you want to tweet at us, you can use hashtag MicrosoftNYC to join in on the conversation. I have to say, it's been quite the journey to tonight's epic showdown. So let's take a look at the road to the finals for the Unspoken Tournament.
It started out locally at 80 Microsoft stores in the United States and Canada. At each one, 16 competitors ventured into a virtual world to destroy their opponents. The Unspoken is a new virtual reality game using the Oculus Rift and Oculus Touch. It pulls gamers into a hidden world of spellcasting and magician's duels. The Unspoken Tournament is the first VR tournament of this size and scope, featuring an epic partnership between Microsoft, Oculus, Insomniac Games, Asus, ESL, and Intel. The winners from all 80 stores then stepped into the regional ring to determine who would go to New York City and play in the Grand Finals. And now it's all going down. 8 players are being flown to New York and will face off at the Mixer NYC studio at the Microsoft Store flagship on 5th Avenue. It's the Oculus Unspoken Tournament Grand Finals, and one will walk away with the Oculus hardware and cash prize.
I'm excited to see some amazing gameplay tonight from these players, but first let's talk about the Unspoken.
Yeah.
What makes this game such a perfect fit for esports? Optic J, what are your thoughts on that right now?
For me, it's the physical nature, the inherent physical nature. You're no longer trapped in kind of a linear experience holding a controller. You're standing up, you've got to cast spells, you've got to cross your arms, you have to memorize that, be able to kind of put it in the game and ultimately better position yourself to win.
Basically going big VR swinging. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's take it right back to Anna and see what's going on at stage. Anna?
Cool, thank you guys. Right now, I am with the studio director of Insomniac Games, Chad Dezern. Hi, Chad. Thanks for being with us today.
Hi, thanks a lot.
Sure. All right, so we're going to talk the Unspoken, obviously. I want to know, there are several different arenas, right, in this game. Can you tell us a little bit about what people should expect?
Sure thing. So the Unspoken takes place in concealed arenas across the city of Chicago. And these are locations that are imbued with magic that are set up for perfect PvP magician's duels. And today, players are going to try out the Jackson Dig Site Arena. This is a wide open space where the player who seizes the high elevation pillars has an advantage.
Okay.
And players are also going to play in the Pulaski Circle Arena. And this is kind of a tight, enclosed space where there's like a giant cover piece in the form of the Statue of Eternal Vigilance right in the middle. Players are going to teleport around and try to get the drop on their opponent by teleporting out from behind that statue and surprising in the duel.
Cool. So Chicago, I want to know, where did you or your team get the inspiration for these arenas?
We just like the idea of a Midwestern city where it feels like there's always something unexpected, just on the edge of your periphery that you can never quite get a good look at. And Chicago was a good fit because it's got its own version of weird history. So we did a lot of research about locations and kind of put our own spin on them, but found places that just felt like they would be the perfect sites for magicians to get together and battle.
Did you go to Chicago?
I have been,
Yeah.
and luckily we have a lot of people on the development team who are Chicago natives, so we could get the feel right by checking with actual Chicagoans.
That's great. Now, the arenas, the feature, they change, right, each round? So can you tell us more about the changes?
That's right. In each match of the Unspoken, we begin with the normal arena state. And here, you're kind of watching what your opponent's doing, squaring off in the duel, getting a feel for how they play. In round 2, the arena status begins to escalate. And then suddenly everything goes crazy. Like day can turn to night sometimes. Sometimes the arena gets like choked with pollen and big fog effects. Everything changes. And then the summon orb becomes available for players.
So I'm not familiar yet, but I've heard that there are also summon beasts for the arena. How do those work?
That's right. So starting in round 2, when that summon orb becomes available, one spellcaster can choose to break it. And it's like a tug of war in game. Like players will really go after it and you'll see it kind of changing possession. But after a player breaks it, they can assemble an effigy. And that's like in VR, pieces in front of you, and you have to put them together under duress. Hopefully you've made a shield for yourself so you're not exposed. But after you do that, you get to summon a giant creature who's your ally for the rest of the battle. And this can really turn the tide. Like if you're behind a little bit, this is a way that you might choose to come out ahead.
Yeah, you get that beast and then you're protected again, right?
That's it, yeah.
So tell me about the classes, right? There's 3 classes in the game. Let's start with the Anarchist.
Okay, so the Anarchist is about tapping into chaotic city magic. And this class can make a fireball, which you can throw with a lot of skill to hit your opponent. This class can also like hold both hands in front and make a giant chaos skull. It's like this flaming skull that'll chase your opponent across the arena. And also the class can make a pyrotechnic volley. So by holding both your hands up, you can make fireworks that attack each of your opponent's pillars. It's a class that has unpredictable results sometimes, but it can really keep the opponent on their toes because of all of that.
Cool. Now, second class, the Kineticist.
That's right. The Kineticist taps into the mass transit of the city, like all of the big forces that are at work moving people around.
Okay.
So it can levitate objects with telekinesis. It can throw heavy objects from the arena at the opponent. It can make a giant force bubble around itself that holds the opponent's spells in stasis. And one of the coolest things it can do is levitate cars above its head with a giant mass drop spell. So imagine you're an opponent, you see a car on top of you, you've got to either teleport away or try to break it with one of your own spells.
Yeah, got it. Wow. And so the Blackjack, this is the last one. What makes the Blackjack different from the other 2 classes?
The Blackjack is a lot about precision and sleight of hand. So this class has a great deal of accuracy with its primal spell. It summons, we call spectral knives, like ghostly knives that can target the opponent. The class can also hide itself in a spectral cloak, so your opponent doesn't know where you are when you use this defensive guard spell. And then also the class can spin up a disc of blades in front of it that can target the opponent with great precision. It goes right where you're looking. So this is the class for the player who really wants to gradually pick apart their opponent based on extreme, almost sleight of hand-like magician skill.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Sure
that
thing.
was great. I'm sure we're going to check in with you a little later. But for now, we're going to give it right back to our shoutcasters.
Thanks, Anna. Our 8 players have been flown to New York City, but only one will return home with a first place cash prize of $1,250, along with a Rift and Touch and an Oculus-ready Vivo PC from Asus.
That's right. And tonight's matches are going to be best of 3, single elimination. Yep.
That's right. Plus, the loser of the first match chooses the second arena, and the loser of the second match chooses the third arena.
That's right. And the finals are kind of a mix of players on the top leaderboards of the Unspoken game, and as well as expected kind of up-and-comers, like Lugia, who we know from DreamHack, and he was killing it. He's 14 years old. He's already got a victory under his belt, man. He's killing it.
Yep.
Lugia is ranked number 1 or Charizard's ranked number 1 on the worldwide Unspoken leaderboard, and he's from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Ranked 4th, we've got Vidman321 from Salt Lake City, Utah, and then ranked 5th We've got server error, or serve error, as some of us like to joke about, from Huntington, New York. He's got the hometown advantage a little bit, right?
Yep. And ranked 9th right now is Cloud X Soldier from Tempe, Arizona. Ranked number 13 is Nerd Burglar from Huntington Beach, California. Ranked 27th is Thavex from Providence, Rhode Island. Ranked 40th is Arriva Rareho 2857 from Meriden, Connecticut. And finally, 47th is S. Lugia, who we all know from DreamHack from Houston, Texas. Let's talk about these players and how they got here.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the big thing was in DreamHack.
DreamHack was...
I keep bringing it up, but Lugia went in and wrecked everybody.
I mean, for people like us who've been doing this, in esports and have been doing this for a living for a while, VR esports is...
Yeah.
It brings back the excitement for us, I think, a little bit. I don't know about you, but, I mean, especially with optic gaming and things like that, I mean, being able to get a new, fresh feel for excitement, and that's what, we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're about to get into our first match. We have Server Error versus Thavex. Now, Syph, what are your thoughts about this match heading into it?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I've seen Thavex play a little bit.
Okay.
The online leaderboards, I've seen, multiple different games and things like that. The movement in this match as we get started here is going to be, to me, is going to be crucial.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, Thavex is a player who does like to overwhelm his opponent. If you see some of the gameplay online, he will do a great job of continually spamming spells at you, not sporadically, but strategically to overwhelm you and make sure that when you're going to one podium to the next, you are already overwhelmed. So he likes to choke you a little bit there.
Well, being strategic is actually very crucial because as I've seen some of these top leaderboards and top people playing is that they're very quick to drop your health down very, very fast. And so being a little bit more strategic in these finals when there's something to really lose right now, we're talking cash and a computer.
Right.
As we see right now, Thavex throwing out his skull to try to deter, server error. These are going to be the moves right now that I feel are going to be crucial in getting to the finals and winning and taking this all home.
Yeah, and it feels like, too, Thavex coming out just a little bit quiet here. He already is down to about a quarter of his health left. He's got out a couple of skulls. I think he really wants to just kind of test the waters and see, but Server Error is doing an exceptional job of returning those skulls back at him, so that push strategy.
And you see the movement from Server Error, too.
Yes.
Like, as soon as Thavex has been firing, like he's firing a skull right now, he's taking time to deflect it, and he's probably going to move here quickly again very soon because he seems to be there he goes again, already very mobile, but now they're right in front of each other's faces, but then, of course, Thavex decides with 2% health is probably not the best idea.
Right, the first embers are already on the map and have been collected. You'll see the embers pop up on each podium. We need those to cast those spells, and then Server Error takes game 1.
Now, with this game, round 2 to me is the most crucial round.
Right.
Because in round 2, if you get the orb, you can call in the summons, which can basically turn the tides of this game, which is basically like a game changer in round 2.
Yeah, now are you surprised a little bit by Thavex? Like I was saying this earlier, but we have seen a lot of gameplay of him online where he comes out and he just really likes to compress and choke his teammate.
He's very rapid and he's I'd say running gun would be kind of like a
running
sort of a term. Like he would fire off very fast. It looks like he was trying to strategize and feel out Server Error a little bit. And it looked like Server Error, and like even right now, Server Error is taking advantage of that planning.
That's right. Server Error picks up another Ember already. He's getting ready to go in and cast a couple of his next spells here.
Server has 0 Embers right now.
Yes, still kind of going through the slow start for Thavex. He's already down to half health. And another Ember picked up now just for Server Error.
And Thavex again down to it looks like about 30% health. I think the tournament itself is pressure. I think these guys are seeing esports as now it's getting serious.
Absolutely. Another skull released by Thavex, already getting returned to him. Thavex, oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
More skulls popping out on the screen. Of course, another one's been down, and we've got Server Error who is going for the orb.
There's a skull going towards him. He splits them. This is going to. He's going for it. And
Server Error did collect the orb, so Server Error puts him in a strategic position now to cast or summon the spell at any. Oh my gosh, he might not even need to. Thavex is about to go down.
The summons came out. The serpents came out, which is the summons. But before that happens, Server Error takes the win. Again.
Oh, we've already got a match 1 victory here. Server Error came out really, really strong.
And you didn't get to see it at the time, but those serpents that they call for the summons is what I like to see. I like to see those, the actual the summons at the
Yeah,
beginning
the
of
actual
match.
summons, because look, it takes full advantage of all of the elements of the game, right? So you're not just worried about going from podium to podium in order to fire, but when you have that orb, you really do put yourself at a strong strategic advantage. And it doesn't, at
You
this
sacrifice
level,
yourself for that orb.
Yes,
you
you do.
sacrifice to
You
get that
do.
summons, but once you get that, it's extremely hard to defeat those.
Yes, that's right. And these players are kind of at that depth level, right? So I don't imagine that just because they get a summoner orb, it does mean that one player is going to get eliminated, but it does give you that edge. And when you're on stage in that real life environment,
Thavix,
all of it helps.
I'm a little thrown off that. Thavix is a
I'm a little
fast
baffled
player.
too. Yeah.
I think honestly, being on stage at the studios, like you got this amazing studio here. I think the pressure's on.
Yeah,
I think the pressure is
absolutely
on, and it's taking people a little bit wanting to create different game modes and gameplays in their head, and it may not have enough time to have that happen. There may not be enough time to change up your play style.
Yeah, I agree. If I were one of these players, or any advice to these players, is stick with what got you here in the first place. And when you come into like a grand finals, a little bit kind of gets in your head. You don't know where that comfort level is.
Shields were definitely a lack from Thavix. I'm just going to be honest with you. I mean, I know you watch him a lot. He's very fast-paced, but when you're fast-paced, you're also moving. And he wasn't really moving so much, but he wasn't using his shields either.
Right, and when you watch him online, he actually gets that perfect block. Now, for those of you at home who may not know, the perfect block, when you're the Anarchist class, will allow you to send the projectile back at the enemy. And we're not seeing a lot of that consistency coming out from Thavix. But here we go, map 2. Thavix now coming out to a strong start. He is moving and trying to stay a little bit more mobile. Maybe he can hear us here in a second. He is up already. Server error, taking some damage.
Oh, we have a spear. We have our. It looks like I think this is our first spear that we've seen today, and a spear, of course, can go through a shield as well.
A shield.
Yeah, it can actually disable a shield. So
that's right.
See, I'm prepared to see a lot of spears in this tournament actually, because of the fact that taking down the defense is amazing. Now the summons in the second round of this is the Reaper. You can see his Cthulhu Grasp is already out, which means if Server Error jumps on any of those, actually he got one taken out, but if he jumps on one of those, it will just basically freeze him.
Absolutely. Now, Server Error did take out that first Cthulhu, right? Or did it already time out there? I didn't quite see on the screen, but
I think it may have timed out.
You can go to a Cthulhu and drop it with your standard spell attack.
Yes, to defeat it, yeah.
Now, one thing we didn't call out here, they actually both had the spear, but it was Server Error who actually landed it on Thavix.
Yep.
A direct hit versus the shield coming through when Thavix originally threw his.
And at the beginning of the game, a spear can literally take about 20 to 25% of your health.
Absolutely. It's super, super deadly. Both players moving around the map strategically, trying to feel out which one will ultimately better position himself to win. Thavix taking two major critical hits.
Major hits, yeah.
Server Error knows exactly what he needs to do, collects another Ember. He will be able to get out another spell right now.
Jay, it looks like Thavix may be going, and he does. Thavix goes down again to Server Error. This is...
I'm impressed. I'm
impressed. I'm a little upside down right now as we go into round 2. I'm a little upside down because Thavix is a very fast player, and I'm not seeing the speed right now.
Right. Well, we have said before this that you will see most players at this level come out with a blackjack, and it's largely
Oh my goodness! Off the bat, Server Error is not playing around. I think he's just trying to cut this out, Jay.
He could be. The blackjack, again, we were going to say, is very precise. And while the basic spell attacks of a blackjack do not do the most damage, they do build over time, and he's charged that up.
Now, Thavix has got a skull out. Now, it's whether or not he's going to try to get the summons, but it doesn't look like he's got the Cthulhu Grasp out, which is going to try and keep Server Error in one spot, but Server Error does take out one of the Cthulhu Grasp, and the skulls have been dispersed into 2.
This is just overall solid gameplay by Server Error. He knows exactly where to go. Even when an Ember pops up, he drops the Cthulhu, transfers to the platform.
It's his advantage right now.
Yes.
He has he has 2 Embers to spare.
Yep.
With Thavix down to looks like about 10%, about 15% health.
3 Chaos Skulls were on the map. A little bit of damage taken by Server Error. He does drop one, but Thavix now finding himself in a desperate spot. One more hit should do it. Here it comes from Server Error.
He's going to close this out. He's going to close this out. He's going to close it out.
This could be a flawless sweep.
This is our first flawless sweep.
Oh my goodness.
Already. Of the match, this is going to happen. He's still hanging in there. He's hanging up. He's hanging in there still. And he's gone.
It's not even the plate glass was enough to save him on there.
Nope.
Well done by Server Error.
Server Error.
4 maps on him
That's
now,
a
right?
4-0. That's a 4-0.
My goodness. This is intense.
This is Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be the kind of the trend, but we saw this at DreamHack a little bit, where it's like you're absolutely dominating or you're absolutely losing.
Right.
And with this kind of high-end caliber of gameplay, I think that this is really going to separate our matches to a point where I think our first 2 rounds is going to dictate almost how the next couple of rounds are going to go if they don't switch up their game style and become more defensive while they're while they're moving.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the gameplay that we saw right there was very uncharacteristic of Favix, who has been known to overwhelm his opponents. You see him do this in top 10 ranked matches if you watch some of the videos that are out there on YouTube. I tend to agree with you, though. I think we'll see some very black and white matches where there's no middle ground. There's someone dominating all the way through, and that ultimately could be good because it builds up to a very strong grand final if that's what we're hitting for.
And just like in any esports game, you're going to have to adapt to your competitor.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be something that's going to have to be known going into the next couple rounds of this match.
And how well do you think player fatigue is going to be at the end of the day as we kind of come in here and see some of these people standing up for hours upon hours of matches?
I don't know.
We're talking 4 hours of physical esports activity here.
Well, let's go to Anna, who's interviewing Server Error right now, and we're going to sit here and talk about this win and how he feels about it.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys. Great. I am here with our round 1 winner, Server Error. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about what happened in that last match.
I think Favix took a bit of damage early on, got surprised by the spear, and I think really if you can get some hits in there early on, you really can demoralize the other player, and at that point, you can just slowly feed off their health bar until they're gone.
Yeah. So tell me, a lot of preparation for this competition?
Oh, yeah.
How much practice did you do?
Every day.
Every single day?
Several hours, yep.
Wow. So you must skip you just play all day long until you got to New York, right?
Yeah, basically. Unfortunately, I'd say my girlfriend's probably not too happy about that, but that's all right.
Where are you from?
Huntington, New York.
You want to give your girlfriend a shout out right now?
Hey, babe.
See, it worked, you know? Cool.
Points.
That's great. Well, good luck to you and the rest of it. Is there anything else you're worried about, you're excited about, or?
Oh, no, I'm just really excited to see these next matchups.
Yeah? All right. Well, good luck in the rest of the rounds.
Thank you.
We're going to toss it back to our casters.
All right. Wow. You heard him say it. He was practicing every single day.
And that's not sitting at home with just a controller and looking at a monitor.
No, it's not. It's not. There's a lot of physical activity that goes into that.
So basically what we're looking at the last match was clearly what we saw was a shutout.
Right.
We saw what we considered to be a more fast-paced mobile attack player just get kind of taken
advantage of it.
I know, it was like a 180. It looked like Server Error knew that was his game style and came with hard-hitting hits with the spear in the second round.
Absolutely.
To take out his health. And I think it caused, honestly, I think it caused him to just get confused.
Right. And what's unique about this too is there's not a lot of gameplay footage out there that allows you to break down all the different people. Of our contenders today, there's only a few of them that actually have gameplay online.
Yep.
And that's primarily from other people that they've played while they're in the top 10 of the leaderboards for the game. So very interesting to see how this is gonna fare out.
Let's get some replay here of the last match that we just saw and get a look at it.
One thing too that I want to see, it looks like Lugia and them are going to come up here next. I'm excited to see if Lugia can match the rest of the competition with what he showed us while at DreamHack.
Well, this is the kind of thing I like about this game, the Unspoken. Literally, people can come in and be brand new at this, or they can come in and be veterans, and neither one has an advantage. It's about basic strategy right there, then and there, looking at somebody, looking at their game style, and seeing how they're going to be able to counter what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And I think, especially with VR becoming such a bigger thing now and moving into esports, as you can see, the momentum is very high, and the level of expectation of being able to predict your competitors' movements is going to be something that is going to be crucial.
Absolutely. And if you see some of the replays that were just popping up on screen, you saw the Cthulhu coming up. You saw, Server Error again actually almost adapted the strategy that we're used to seeing, and he was the one who kind of did the reverse roll and the choke out there.
Yep.
So excited to see overall, and we're gonna go to a quick break to stick around for more of the Unspoken tournament. We'll see you guys in a few minutes.
first mission, Agent 34. We are getting reports of a hotspot in the city. Please investigate. And remember, Robo-Ready values you.
Take home the Oculus Rift and Touch bundle now for only $598.
Welcome back to Oculus, the Unspoken Tournament here at the Mixer NYC studio at the Microsoft Store flagship on 5th Avenue. I'm Anna Roisman, and let's see what you guys have been saying on social. So it says here, user Count Bugnish says, those player cams are hella. I totally agree. That mixed reality effect is what makes this next great esport. And Buzzlin said, OMG, they are so much faster than I play, and way faster than I play, guys. That's why these guys are ranked on those leaderboards. That's true. All right, that's all for now, but we want to hear more from you guys, so make sure to hit us up in the chat. And now we're going to take it back to our casters.
Thanks, Anna. We're about to get into our second match. We have Charizard versus Lugia. Optic J, what are your thoughts? Knowing we've seen, we got #1 top-ranked person on leaderboards first somebody we saw at DreamHack. What are your thoughts?
Well, Charizard is ranked #1, as you said. Lugia is kind of a fan fave out here, right? He dominated at DreamHack in Austin. I think we're either in for an upset. I think it's going to be the gray area match, right? I don't think we're going to see a blowout here. I think Lugia's ready.
Lugia went from never playing an Oculus to dominating it,
yeah.
So
and here we go.
Into the first match where we got Lugia as a telekinesis and Charizard as Blackjack.
Yes. Now, Lugia, I have not seen play the telekinesis aside from what we saw at DreamHack. So I almost wondered if he was going to be a surprise and come out and use a different class here.
Because he had practice. He had some time to experiment with this game. He's already doing the telekinesis card throws where you can throw up to 3 actually,
right,
as a more super hit, but he started with just 1.
Right, now Lugia actually has one of his podiums that's been destroyed right now because Charizard is hopping all over the map. He is playing that little more of aggressive route. Maybe that's what did make him #1. But if you look at both health meters, Lugia is only down by a little bit here. He does take another suffocating blow, unfortunately, in that spot. But I imagine it's going to continue to be close to this the entire match.
It looks like right now Lugia as a kineticist is only taking. He's about 40% health down, not quite at 50% yet. But Charizard has barely been touched yet.
Yes,
he's barely been touched.
Well, he's doing a great job of playing defensively in terms of Lugia, but he does have his shield up, and we got Charizard is just trying to pound away at that. I think they're both still feeling each other out, and it almost looks like Charizard actually is playing a little nervous right now.
It looks like, Lugia is starting to, he tested him a little bit, they're just jumping out of his shield just to see. The Cthulhu Grasp is out right now. Now it looks like Charizard's going to, wow, Charizard just took a massive amount of damage just then.
Absolutely. Another spell getting ready to come out now. Ooh, my goodness. He just cleared out a lot of the Cthulhu Grass, giving him a little bit more mobility on the map.
He tried to get him into the grass, but didn't really put pressure on him to move. And now we got the Cthulhu Grass out again, but on Charizard this time. Now the point would be try to move Charizard into that direction by doing damage, but the grass is already gone.
And that's a strong play right there by Charizard. He did bring up the spell. He did clear out the Cthulhu's Grass, giving him more mobility on the map. Now you're able to see him jump around a little bit more. We do have the Force Shield up again.
He's utilizing that really well.
Yes, he is.
For someone who's playing the #1 ranked person on the online leaderboards right now, he's hanging in there really well. And this is the first really good even match I've seen Lugia play with somebody, because usually he's just taking them out.
Right. Now Lugia's gonna have to make a little bit more moves here. He did use his last Ember right there. Charizard still has one remaining in his HUD. And another Force Shield coming up, but it's still being chipped away from Charizard.
Lugia is at a disadvantage.
Yes,
right
it is.
now.
Here it comes. Wild card flying on the map. That'll be game 1
That's
for
game
Charizard.
1 to Charizard, yep. Not something that we don't expect to see from a top-ranked player, but
right.
I'm kind of rooting for for Lugia, man. I'm rooting for the kid, man. Like
Absolutely.
He was his first time playing on VR, and he just seemed really excited about it. But we're gonna see if he can change up the game style a little bit for Charizard, who's honestly playing at a caliber that is a lot higher than most people.
Absolutely. Well, Lugia picked up his first Ember, getting ready to cast a few more spells here. Again, both players filling each other out in these early rounds. It's all about getting off your initial primal spells to chip them down, position yourself, and then ultimately get off some of your artifacts and some of your other push, defense, or gesture spells.
And I noticed Lugia is not doing the 3-object toss. Usually you can throw up to 3, which does a lot more massive damage. Right now, like he's throwing the bathtubs right now, but he's only throwing 1 at a time, which isn't a full powered one, so that might come into play a little bit as, you know, Charizard starts taking advantage of the small damage he's being able to get taken from him.
Yeah, and that's something you'll see from that style of character too. It's not so much about getting your spells out initially, it's about better positioning yourself, because it's a heavy character, right? You want to be on a podium where you either have a projectile in your way.
The Cthulhu Grasp worked. For the first time so far, we've seen it work.
You've seen it work on the other ones barely, but they usually kill it and get out of it right away so they can better position themselves overall.
Lugia got the summons. We're going to see if he has enough time. He's got the Orb. He's going to see if he has enough time to break this out, because this is a game changer. And hopefully, we got it. We got the Serpents out. Now, Charizard, his job is going to be to either try to defeat Lugia blindly, or he's going to have to attack these Serpents, because they're not going to stop until they're all gone.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, Lugia did look like he was going to be in a bad spot for a second. He did have his Force Shield up. Now in a safer spot. Looks like that Conjure actually is going to bode well in his favor, at least from a distraction.
This is where the summons really doesn't work this way. You're supposed to use these summons to draw the attention of your opponent, while you can just basically take down their health and take them out because they're focused on them. And Lugia didn't let that happen. He could have moved a little bit over to the right, look like, and maybe take some more damage down from Charizard, but it didn't play out as well as I was thinking it was going to play.
Yeah, and we're nearly halfway through this second round here. Again, this is the best of 3. We do have Lugia hopping all over the place. He is out of Ember Stones, and so Charizard still having those 2 spells. Looks like he's going to get the Displate up. It does hit him. It connects super well. Lugia it's about to be defeated in map 2. The shield better hang on for him. We're down to the final wire here.
We're down to basically a Taparoonie right now.
Yes, we are. You spit on him, it's done.
Yeah, it's a magic spit.
It is a magic spit.
And he's done.
One magic spit is done, but Lugia is still staying alive. He is moving around the map quite well.
Very versatile right now. I mean, he's holding on to it.
2 Ember Stones. Oh. He is tossing up. Oh my gosh, we might have a summons out there. Now, I don't think Lugia should go for this. He does have a Spore Shield.
There's not a chance.
But I would
he would
stay
not
away
have enough
from
time
that.
to cast that. He would not have enough time to cast
and
that.
And Charizard knows it too. He throws in the final elimination blow. Well done.
Wow. Charizard. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, it's something that we're all going to expect. There's a very high caliber play, and Lugia using the summons and Charizard basically taking advantage of the fact that Lugia did not use that summons to take advantage of the health is basically Charizard playing the way he's been playing so far to make him number 1.
And look, we expected him to come out as strong as he did, you know, and we also might have expected a little more from Lugia, but I think that Lugia still has that fight left in him to come in and actually surprise on this round. But what is making this interesting so far is that if you look at server error in the round before this was using a blackjack, Charizard using a blackjack. We may have a battle of some blackjacks to come out into this grand final.
And it sounds like the next map being chosen will be Pulaski Circle.
Pulaski Circle.
Which, is that your own stopping ground over there?
I said it a little bit. I like
frequent the circle?
I frequent the circle.
Okay,
I like the circle. I get coffee there every morning, and then I cast some spells.
That's a scary place to get coffee.
It is a scary place to get coffee.
That mochaccino's got to taste
bitter. What's your map of choice?
I like Dig Site.
You like Dig Site? Okay.
I like Dig Site.
Okay.
I like it.
Cool.
I like it. I know. I step out of the circle a little bit.
Yeah.
Not Pulaski circle, but out of the circle a little bit. I like the Dig Site. But
I like it.
You know, going into looks like our next round here.
Yeah.
Lugia's gonna have. Lugia's at a disadvantage. He is 0-1. He's gonna have to win this and the next one. I'm not saying that Charizard can play a little bit more lax, but he seems to be he's in a safer position right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You got the momentum coming in from the past 2 rounds. He did considerably well. There was no real close calls. Lugia did land a little more damage than, or not enough to be threatening in a sense. I
You could tell Charizard was willing to take smaller damage hits to perform higher damage attacks.
Right,
and I think that's the strategy he's been using, is that he's letting his opponent think that they're winning by taking those smaller hits, by getting ready to take a massive damage on the other side.
Absolutely. Now, I want to call out something very specific here. You look at Lugia, he does a good job of getting his embers early, but they're also gone within seconds.
Yeah,
whereas you look at
very
Charizard, Charizard is using them a little more sparingly. It seems like he's got a little bit more of a calculated approach, and he's also doing a little bit more of the movement across the map, too. So it's almost as if he's letting Lugia kind of bait himself into a situation where he can then pop off.
Well, it's almost like he's doing too much at one time.
Right.
Doing so much pedestal movement plus using all of your embers in such a rapid amount of time doesn't give you the quality attacks that you want. You're too busy reacting instead of trying to protect yourself and make the next move.
Absolutely, and with a class like the Blackjack, which Charizard is playing, it's all about precision. And so if your opponent is caught off guard and they're unstable, and whether they're platform moving or wherever their overall strategy is with the embers, you're in a bad spot.
And like right now, as we see, Lugia had plenty of time to what I recall use an ember for a 3-hit.
Absolutely.
A 3-hit damage teleport, but it just didn't happen. And right now, like, this is going to be one of those where the second round of this one is where you can summon the Reaper.
Right.
And that's a really damaging summon. And, it's going to be interesting to me to see if Lugia can pull off this first round, which looks like he's doing really well. Charizard, for the first time, has himself down below 50% health while his opponent is above 50% health. That's the first time I've seen that between him and Lugia so far. So this is either good news for Lugia, or he's going to take it as too much confidence.
Yeah, the wild card. Look, he's got shields up on the map. He's playing defensively and offensively. There's a great balance here. Look, he has the podium, one podium taken out by Charizard, but again, let's look at the embers. Lugia has one.
And he just used it again. It's gone.
Charizard has 3, so it could be a late game flip here, even though Lugia is coming out and being the more effective player.
And Charizard got him in the Cthulhu Grass. Lugia not moving.
Gosh.
He's gonna. This could be an upset that I have not seen yet so far in this tournament. And Charizard literally just flipped the entire script on Lugia in one Cthulhu Grasp.
We called it. Another podium goes down. Lugia being suffocated from Charizard. That late game show
that was
by Charizard.
Very good gameplay. Woo! Very good gameplay. What I said earlier about Charizard allowing himself to take damage so that he can plan his attack, that was excellently executed.
We called it perfectly. What the Blackjack character is so precise from beginning to end, and that's why those opening shots are very critical for getting your positioning down. You set yourself up to use the embers at the right time, and we saw it. Textbook professionalism right there.
Don't panic about the first hit.
Right.
Worry about the long game. This is a long game esports game.
Right.
This is something you need to plan for, plan your attack, and plan what you're going to do when your resources are gone. Right now, Lugia without any embers, and Charizard again with already 2. It seems like his strategy right now is to take a little bit of damage while he's absorbing his embers, let the opponent run out of resources, and then he goes for the major hits.
Absolutely. I'd love to see Lugia kind of take it a step back, breathe a little bit, use those embers a little more strategically, because that class...
And the summons.
Yes. Oh, no, here they go for the orb right now.
I think Charizard's one more hit away from getting it, because Lugia's not... Oh, wait, no. They're even. It's now back. Now, this is a tug-of-war of magicians, if you will.
Yes, it is. Our first one of the day, too. This is going to be...
A tug-of-orb?
Yeah, maybe? A tug-of-orb. I like it.
Tug-of-orb?
I like it. Charizard ends up picking up the orb. He will have that summoner power.
This is risky. He could just end this right now. Okay, this is where he's at right now.
Right.
He's already up 1. He's 1 round on this one. He can end this right now. He could kind of risk going for the summons just to kind of go out in a big flash.
I'm going to call it right now early, and I'm going to say that Charizard is going to pull that towards the end. You already see him holding on to 2 more embers. Lugia down to 1 ember. There's an ember behind him. He does pick it up. This is going to be a very strategic move for him that better positions Lugia to take this over. And you can see Lugia already want... Oh my gosh, there's the Conjure's up right now.
Now I've seen Lugia defeat the Reaper before a DreamHack.
Right.
I've seen that happen.
Right.
And at this point, it's going to be crucial because Charizard is going to do the opposite, I feel, of what Lugia did, and that's him go on the attack to Lugia while he's focused on the Reaper. Because if you don't focus on the Reaper, it can take your health down in about 3 hits. And right now, as you can see, it took about 30% right now. He's going to have to focus on, I hate to say, he's going to have to focus not on Charizard right now. The Reaper's gone.
Right.
So...
Charizard, again, you can see that he's got a strong methodology when he's using those Ember Stones. You had the Reaper come out, you had the Cthulhu's Grasp come out. One of the podiums was broken down. it's almost as if it's a page taken out of Fab's book where he's just he's kind of just choking out his character here.
It's a savings account of esports, if you will. He's making deposits, he's saving, and he's waiting to get the best profit out of these attacks.
That's one of the things I like about this game is that overwhelming profitable attack, as you just kind of described, can come in late game.
Not just that, but every playstyle just changes. And Lugia goes down.
Wow.
Charizard with our second blowout. Second blowout.
Not even taking a map.
This is becoming what I feel is going. I don't want to predict it right now, but it's becoming what I feel is going to be a one winner only round. It's going to be whoever wins, and whoever loses, loses. Unless somebody realizes that they have to change their play style.
Why do you think we're seeing such a separation? I mean, it's almost like the first two matches we watch of the day are they are.
It's because I think right now everyone's sticking to their guns instead of realizing that adaptation to another player's play style is crucial. As you can see, when we saw, earlier in this round, we saw Charizard literally just harvesting his embers, waiting for the right attack, and taking it. Lugia wasn't recognizing that and just using all of his resources and was left with nothing and left defenseless.
Right.
And honestly, that's something that when you start playing in these next rounds, and hopefully these next competitors see, if you lose, see why you lost and try to change that up a little bit. I mean, it might be a risky move, but it's worse than being shut out completely, which we've seen so far twice in a row.
I feel like we didn't see any volley come out of Lugia the entire time. He did not use the mask.
A lot of pushes.
The cars.
It was a lot of pushes and not a lot of volleys. And obviously the volleys are extremely important for reacting to attacks, but it's more so much as it's either you're worried about moving too much or you're not moving at all.
You're absolutely right. Well, let's head over to Anna for a post-game interview.
Thanks, guys. I am here with the #1 ranked worldwide player, Charizard. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was a great match, right? How did that go? How was round 1 for you?
Feels pretty good. We both we gave it our best. I mean, I don't know.
You gave it your best.
Yeah.
That's it. Is that your strategy when you go into a tournament?
Yeah, most of the time
just give it your best. Very chill. You're from Philadelphia, right?
Right, yeah.
Me too.
Oh, really?
I want to know your favorite cheesesteak.
I don't want to pick sides here. I'm going to get slack back home, so.
He's not even, oh my gosh. I'm going to say Jim's. You're not.
Yeah. I mean.
Geno's, Pat's.
Yeah. I mean, Geno's is pretty good.
This is exactly how your strategy is with the game,
is judgment coming off. It is right.
I'm not judging. Okay. I'm just glad we're both from Philly.
Yeah.
So tell me, what are you looking forward to in the rest of the tournament today?
I'm looking forward to some of my future matches. I mean, I've played with these guys in the community. It's still fairly, it has a lot of growing to do, so we all know each other, but in an actual tournament setting where we're, everything's on the line, I'm looking forward to that, see how it all plays out.
Cool. Well, I wish you the best of luck in the rest of the tournament, and I'm sure we'll check in with you at another time. But we're going to give it back to our casters. What's up, guys?
Yes, the deep breaths.
The deep breaths.
The deep breaths.
I'm starting to see that competitiveness in this is really high, and people are really going for the throat.
They are really going for the throat, and it's, again, the first match with Thavix and Server Error, it was a Blackjack who came out dominating 4 games. We see the same thing again, unexpectedly too, because Lugia is a really skilled player, but that Blackjack class is so precise, it does very considerable damage, and it really can catch you off guard if you plan your Ember use really well.
And as you can see, we're going to show a replay here of the last matches here, where obviously you can see Charizard here at the beginning with 2 Embers, Lugia only with 1, and I believe this is the round where he used it up very quickly. Charizard did a very, very good job of just occupying Lugia's time while collecting all of his Embers, and then there they go fighting over the summons, which Charizard got, which this is the first time I actually saw this. The summons actually didn't die, and he didn't kill anyone, and he just went away. I guess there's a time limit, and I wasn't even aware of that. But with this kind of high level of competitiveness, like with 2 players that are really good, I got to experience that for the first time.
Right. Well, we know that Charizard is a player who, and I feel like we almost said this multiple times about other characters. Charizard's the player who likes to overwhelm in the same way that Thavix does, or what we've seen online. But Charizard actually, he's got a system. There is a method to his madness.
I think he's able to look at the player and react to the player based on their actual gameplay. Right. And the problem is there's some players that have been playing the exact same way no matter what, and it's been working thus far, but now at this level of competition, obviously it's going to get a little bit more strategic.
Definitely, and Charlie, he's just a fun player to watch, right? You can see the mastery, the strategery that happens. He knows when to jump to a platform and what he's going to do on that platform. We talked about that earlier, that when he gets to a podium, it's for a reason. He's not doing it just to dodge. He's almost as like he's in control the whole time. I'm going here for a reason, right?
Well, Jay, let's toss it back over to Anna. Anna, what do you got for us over there?
Hey guys, I would like to introduce you to someone very special. He is 14 years old. He's from Houston, Texas, and he's really made an impression on us here. This is S. Lugia. I'm gonna call him Lugia, right? We already chatted about that.
Hi.
Hi, welcome. I mean, congratulations.
Well, yeah, it was good to get here. I mean,
you got here, right?
Yeah,
They
getting
flew
to
you
the finals. First time in New York, too, so that's a added plus, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, wait, before we get into New York, how did you get into VR? You know, how did you get into, like, the Unspoken?
The first time I played VR was at DreamHack 2016 in Austin. That was the first one they had in the in Austin, the U.S., I think.
And you won,
so
right?
I went there. That was the first one. That wasn't this last one where I won.
Oh, okay.
So they had the Vive there, and I played some of that, and I really got into VR, and I started keeping track of it. And then when this DreamHack rolled around, I went there, and I saw that they had a big Oculus booth with a Magic game is what I thought of it at first. I thought it was going to be like Harry Potter. So I went in line and I played it, and it really sucked me in. I was there for a while. I mean, the last day of DreamHack, I was basically just sitting at the booth.
The whole time?
Yeah, the whole time. You know, I went a couple other places. I watched some, pro matches, but that booth was my home that last day of DreamHack.
I got you. That's cool. So tell me something. Your family was supposed to go on vacation this week, I've heard, and they changed their plans so you guys could be here?
Well, we went on vacation. My mom and my two sisters and my sister's fiance, they are staying in Panama for one more day, I think, or 2 more days, and we came here, cut off our vacation short so I could be in New York. And I want to say thank you to Josh from the ESL travel agency.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah.
Josh got you out of Panama.
Yeah, Josh planned this, so.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for being with us today. I'm sure we'll see. I mean, you're obviously going to be hanging out with us all day, and we'll talk to you again soon. But right now, we're going to take it to a quick break, and then we're going to come back with some more Unspoken action.
That'll be fun.
That'll be fun. Thanks.
My dearest Evelyn, I've now seen what lies behind the shadows and what must be done to survive its horrors.
I think something bit me.
I enter into this final conflict with an incredible gift.
Wilson? What's wrong?
That has also become a horrible curse. The burden that beats in my chest has the power to wipe out life as we know it. But in the end, is my only ally against the darkness. I hope I can find the strength to finish this to its conclusion. And to see you one last time. With all my love, Robert.
Take home the Oculus Rift and Touch bundle for only $598.
Welcome back to Oculus, the Unspoken Tournament here at the Mixer NYC studio at the Microsoft Store flagship on 5th Avenue. Let's see what you guys have been saying on social media. We've got user Juzubao says, here's hoping for more tournaments. I totally agree, guys. This is hopefully the first of many, many, many. And a lot of you guys were giving it to S. Lugia, including X Tarzia, who gave it up for him, saying he gave a really good fight. That's true. And you guys are just loving the Rift. User Sigenius Grim, thank you, said, you get so much free content with it. I'm with you. We are all about free content. Who's not, right? That's all we've got for now, guys. But I see you guys talking strategy in the chat, so let's keep that up. But for now, we're going to take it back to our casters.
Thanks, Silent. We're about to get into our third match. Now, we've had an interesting day so far. I mean, Vidman 3-2-1 versus Ari Varho is about to come up next. Saifa, what are your thoughts about this match?
I don't even know what to call at this point now, man.
Yeah,
I don't know what to call at this point. It's become...
I like that. I like that you don't know.
I like that you like that I don't know.
Yes, me too. Because anything is a toss-up at this point. Like we saw the first two matches were blowouts, and it is blackjack, right? So here again, we got Ari Varho. He's coming out with a blackjack class, and Vidman now is also a blackjack class as well. So we've got two top-tier players getting ready to...
Blackjack seems to be what some of the higher-ranked teams are using.
Yes, and correction, Ari Varho is playing the Kinesis. Already getting ready to throw a fridge at someone too. If you threw a fridge at me, I wouldn't mind so bad. I'd block it, obviously.
It would be a mini fridge and it would be soft.
Fair enough. One of the plush mini ones.
A plush mini fridge.
Not a lot of action coming out on the screen. Ari Varho does. He is
There's a lot of tosses,
damage.
but reverses.
There is. Now, hopefully, we get ourselves an even close match here. I would like to see something that's a little more neck and neck. But I won't be shut off if there's another.
No, I'm right now. I'm not upset that they're trying to figure each other out right now. They're just doing some minor throws and minor damage just to kind of assess the situation a little bit. Nobody's really trying to cast any really big damaging spells.
Vidman is throwing in some damage there, and I think partly it's because if you look at Ari Varho, when you play the Kineticist and you use the Telekinesis and you are going for those larger objects that do more damage, you're not seeing him. Look at the dead time and the downtime by Ari Varho.
Vidman's doing some serious damage.
He is, and I believe it's because he's not using enough telekinesis on the other side to get those objects always at Vidman. So Vidman has time to set up.
Well, the three object throw is a huge damage hit.
It is.
If you hit them with all three of them, I mean, we're talking 30% of your damage.
But even the slow response from Ari Varho in terms of his telekinesis, no projectiles are coming out. He's kind of just moving around the map, almost as if he's trying to be a moving target. Which is obviously an awful strategy if you're not going to turn any damage.
He'll just throw a Cthulhu grasp out and keep you from moving around. I mean, it's pretty easy, and it looks like Vidman is actually predicting his moves very easily. And hopefully we can see Alvaro, like Rivarejo, get a little bit more with the Kinesis, with a little bit more damage thrown, and it didn't happen.
Here we go, round one by Vidman. Excellent.
Round one by Vidman.
Again, a blackjack class coming out with a victory.
We need the Kinesis to throw the big damaging tosses, the three object large tosses. We need those to happen. That's his ability. That's what he does. That's how he does the most damage. And in order for him to take out a blackjack that's moving really fast, that's the only way he's going to win.
Absolutely. Well, Vidman is still hopping around the map, doing really well. He's got the. He does have his blade up. He does get a direct hit. Oh no, he does not. He missed the spell. Interesting positioning by both. They kind of just follow each other around both sides of the map, although they're a little bit spread out now.
It's almost like a tit for tat kind of thing at the very beginning for each one of these, each match for them. Yep. They're just kind of throwing small objects, waiting for one to do something damaging first.
Ari Varho taking another suffocating blow there. Man, he needs to really get into the action.
Ari Varho with the miss with the bathtub.
We need more aggression coming out from Ari Varho. Vidman has not even went to half health even between this round and the previous round.
I don't think he's lost 50% health combined in two matches.
Right. He is going for the orb, it looks like. Nope, the summoner orb will be on the other side of the map. No, he is.
He's going for it. He's got 2 hits on it.
He collected it. It would be a welcomed offensive move from him if he's able to get this off, but his casting right now is slow.
His health is too low. In my personal opinion, this is a risky move.
Even with the force shield up right now?
It's possible, but Vidman has a ton of health at his disposal. He has an Ember. It could be played. He does call the Serpents in. Will he be able to defeat all 3 Serpents? And will his opponent be able to react? No.
That's it.
No.
Vidman with a great, look what Vidman did right there. Look at the counter, all right? So we get Ari Varho, he gets the summons. It's immediately answered with a Cthulhu's Grasp, and it kind of prevented Ari Varho from moving around the rest of the map, which he was already suffering with to begin with.
He couldn't take advantage of it. And that was the point. Like, I understood that, like, it was worth it for him to try it, but at the same time, if you're not able to move, you're at a complete disadvantage. Especially when your health is below 30%, mobility is key, defense is key, and, you know, he took a big risk by using that summons, but at the same time, didn't take advantage of it, and didn't get a chance to.
Well, his timing was good. He had his force shield up. He was able to actually get the summons in the air, but there's not enough pre-damage before that. And if you bank on just one move and getting that orb, you will suffer early game, mid game, and late game. It almost doesn't matter because you have to get your basic projectiles in. You have to get those hits.
My biggest wonder is, you know, when they're playing this at home, when they're playing on their online leaderboards, and a game like this, which is very, you know, I mean, the game is extremely cheap for a game at this caliber. It's optimized very well.
Right.
When you're playing at home, I wonder, when you're in an event like this and you see the stage and you see the green screen, you see everything going on, if maybe that gets you a little fluttered.
It could. I would imagine it gets in your head. I mean, look, you're in downtown
because
New York.
Because this game does immerse you very well.
Right.
And to me, a game like this where you're surrounded by competition, you're in the competition, you're surrounded by it, you see the movement and what you're doing. And I think, honestly, with an event like this is taking some of the competitors out of their comfort zone. It's taken them out of their comfort zone. It's caused them to react a little differently or crawl into what they know is the best thing that's worked for them, playing with maybe lower caliber players.
Right. How does Ari Varho come back into this?
He's going to have to be more reactive. He's going to have to be more reactive. He's going to have to... He has to take advantage of the fact that at the beginning, both of them are just filling each other out. Look, right now we're having very fast, small damage hits.
Right.
You know, he's getting his disc spun up.
Yeah, he's getting his disc played up, but he actually stopped.
He stopped for a second.
Pull out another artifact.
They're both just kind of figuring each other out right now.
What is Ari Varho? What do you think is going on in his head? He gets out his force shield there, but he's not moving or anything. Vidman takes advantage of that, moves to the side, gets his precision hits. This is just textbook. I don't know. I almost feel like I'm not watching the pro that I saw get here in the first place.
And I hate to say it, but I think this is where the Cthulhu Grasp is being leaned on as a crutch too much sometimes. They're using it not when it's strategically viable for them. They're just throwing it out there not when the opponent is needing to move. You know, if you're not putting damage on your opponent, Vidman was not taking any damage and had no reason to move from Cthulhu Grasp. Like, he just stayed right there on his pedestal and did not have to move.
The display goes out, a direct hit on Ari Varho. He is now down below 50% health. He needs to make a move. He did collect another Ember, transporting around the map. This is going to get intense right here. If he does not get a mass object down or any more direct hits, he's still suffering from what lost him the first couple of rounds. There needs to be a change on Ari Varho immediately. Another Ember up for Vidman. Vidman loses his Ember because the podium goes down. Now he's suffocated in a spot, but it doesn't matter because his offensive damage, it's just too intense for him.
Honestly, and at this point now, he's got about 20% health, or 30% health left, little less than 30% health left, and we've not seen anyone come back yet.
That's
not from somebody he's missing about 5% right now.
Right. More Embers up on the map. Both players taking off, using their final Embers, except for Vidman. He does have it up. He cancels it out for some reason, back to his basic attacks.
This is where Vidman just needs to close it out.
Yes,
this is where
absolutely.
He's got enough health. He needs to actually start doing some big hits and just end this out. If I were him, I would sacrifice some damage and I would just take him out. At this point, this is where you end it.
And Ari Varho taking another direct blast. That hurts so bad. The display coming out. This could end it right here. He does wrap it around the corner.
Curveball.
Phenomenal.
Nice. Vidman with the. I mean, are we going into another?
Yeah.
We seem to be going into another situation.
We very well could. Now we've been said it. Players at this level, they're very deft, right? Someone like Vidman who can take a disc blade and spin it around the side, regardless of where you teleport, that significantly actually lowers your mobility.
It not just does that, but like going into the second round, when you're under the gun like this, it's almost like, is the summons worth risking your life for when you're about 1 kill away, you're 1 kill away from being eliminated from this tournament?
Yeah, I would say not, and I'd go back to your crutch comment, right? Even though you're talking about the Cthulhu before for a crutch, I would say that at times a player who does not play aggressively and yet wants to rely on heavier spells, like
they wait for that summons thing, it's going to save them.
For the summons, and that will bite you because the rest of the time your enemy is chomping you away. So look at Vidman, he's already got Ari Varho down.
Now see, right here, as we just saw, the Cthulhu Grasp was out. Vidman had no need to move.
That's right.
And it just timed out when he needed to move. You're supposed to put serious damage and serious pressure on your opponent to get them to move so that Cthulhu Grass can take almost 30% of your health at full charge right when it releases.
Absolutely. When we did see Arivaro towards the end of the round before he was defeated, he did start to get a little more aggressive, but we're not seeing that same type of fury come back into this round.
I think they panic. At this point now, when you're one loss away, he has an uphill battle at this point. It would be great to see a Cinderella just come back from the bottom and come back up, but it seems like they get very panicky at this point instead of calming down and trying to be a little bit more strategic, because at this point, Vidman's going for blood.
We are. Well, we're seeing Vidman take a little bit of damage here and has not delivered any more damage. That's bringing Arivarjo down below 50% health. Ideally, this could be a place where the momentum would change. You have the heavier objects being thrown in from the telekinesis. The embers are already being utilized. It's kind of just, here we go, a spinning blade. It could have come around the corner again from Vidman. It does, but he moves out of the way in time.
Okay, that's a very good very good diversion to move out of the way, which is what we like to see in this game, especially when there's the extra podiums to move around to. The Cthulhu Grass out again. We have a Reaper.
Oh, this is a bad situation for Arivarjo.
This is not a good situation at all.
He drops even below health. There goes Arivarjo.
The Reaper can just take you out. This is textbook. Textbook right now. This is becoming the standard. And Vidman with the shutout.
I'm blown away. We've got a very heavy dominated side map where people are going in and just cleaning up. It's just cleaning up exceptionally well.
I know these games are extremely intense, and I know these games are really immersive, but it seems like the first round of these games gives that person the momentum to just clean house the rest of the time, and it puts the loser in a very, very, very volatile state.
Absolutely, and when you see the damage come in, even playing this at DreamHack with some of the old men of Optic, when your health would get down to 50%, you do start to panic a little bit. You're thinking, oh, I'm not casting enough spells. I need to cast more spells. There's an orb thing. So your mind kind of goes all over the place. Where we're seeing some of the players who are blackjack players, and again, we've said this, blackjack is a designed player to be precisive in nature. And so these players seem to have just more of a calculation on what's happening both mid and late game.
And what I haven't seen so far is the Kinesis has not been using the 3 object the
mass. The mass drop.
We're talking mass drops of doing 30% damage, especially when all 3 hit him at the same time. And it's something that if you're going to play that character and you're going to use that class, those volatile parts of that character have to be used time in and time out, or you have no advantage. You're just collecting embers to collect embers, and you're running around and you're hoping you don't die. And it's almost the opposite of what we saw at DreamHack. The Kinesis did a very good job. Lugia used it, was able to use the 3 mass hits, and was really doing a lot of damage on people. And they weren't really able to reverse that.
Right.
I mean, right now, from what you're seeing right now, does this look like it might be the whole tournament?
I think we're going to see, as we predicted, a blackjack heavy tournament with blackjacks doing most of the damage, unless we see some changes in the Kinesis style. But either way, let's head over back to Anna with a post-game interview.
Hey, you guys. I am here with the winner of the last round, Vidman. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Tell me about it. Tell me about what was going on in that last game.
It was very good. Playing as Kinesis is very interesting, as it's a kind of slower game. But you just have to make sure you block their primals effectively.
Yeah.
And, make sure that you don't get capitalized on with heavy objects.
Cool. So, is this your first time in New York as well, or you've been here before?
I've been here, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay. Where are you from?
Utah.
Utah. Cool. So tell me a real quick question, because we were talking about this during the game, actually. How different is it for you playing here at this tournament with the screens, and the TV cameras versus playing at home?
Well, I think that there's a crowd there, it's a little different, but all in all, you're in VR, which blocks you off from the real world. Yes, you hear the clapping or you hear the announcers every so often, and it's just, you are still shut off from the real world though. So not too different, but different enough to make you nervous.
Yeah, you got to just get in the mindset and then just play like you've always been playing, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for chatting with us, and good luck in the rest of the tournament
today.
Thank
you very much.
And we're going to give it back to our casters.
Oh.
Well, I am impressed anytime I see a disc of blades flash around the corner to knock out an enemy, or at least significantly shake him up. And we saw it twice.
What's actually exciting me right now is it looks like I'm sad because I want these. The problem is I want these to go longer because I really, really dig this game. I really dig people. We've been in esports for so long where the typical controller and looking at monitor, as much as I love it and it's given us a living, but watching people physically moving in a game to make a game function is an amazing thing to watch. And it saddens me that there are shutouts right now because I want this to go on all day.
Absolutely. And if you look at the replay up here already, right? Okay, so Vidman had full health, Ari Varho at 50% of the health. I don't know if we're going to be able to see the actual spinning of the disc blade around the corner, but those types of late game moves really position you well.
And you also got to remember, the viewpoint that we're seeing is what is called caster mode from what everyone's seeing at home. When you're playing this in a first-person position.
Yes.
So when that thing comes flying around the corner, you don't know it's coming around the corner until it's on the corner and going to knock the snow off of your cone.
That's right.
Like, it's coming out there. It's going to take you out. And like I said, this game is extremely immersive and very fast-paced, so imagining this in first person, the intensity is at an all-time high.
Right, absolutely. Well, and you see too, I mean, Ember management I didn't feel was too much of an issue here. It seemed like it was a more back to basics that Ari Varho did not pay attention to. I thought he was going to be very, very aggressive coming out, especially watching the first couple of matches with the Genesis.
Guys, now let's go over to Anna, who has an interview with someone real special you're going to want to talk to.
Thanks, guys. All right, with me now is Oculus executive producer David Yee. Welcome, David. Thanks for chatting with us.
Thanks. I'm special, apparently.
You are very special. Yeah, you heard them. So tell me, this is really the first national VR tournament, right? So why is VR so great for esports?
Well, I think you heard the casters touch on it earlier, where the physicality of the players add something for the players. But for us watching, it's also becomes a spectacle. We get to see them casting their spells and moving their hands around. And normally when you're watching someone play a game, they're very contained either on the controller or on their keyboard mouse, so you may not know what they're doing. But here we can see when Vidman's charging up his skulls or his discs, his hands are in tight. When someone's about to cast a shield up, their hands are out wide. And so now as an audience, we get to watch the players actually play the matches in the games themselves.
It's cool. It's cool to check in with them and then check back on the screen. It's really fun to watch. So tell me, how is V Sports different from esports?
Well, I think one thing VR adds that contributes to what we call presence, about being in these virtual realities, is we call it 6 degrees of freedom with your head. So when you move your head in the environment, you're moving your head inside the game and you see what's happening. But with games with touch, you have not just 6 degrees of freedom with your head, but also with your hands. And one of the things I've been watching with the matches earlier is we've talked about nerves and how they might be affecting the players. I can actually see them missing their hits because their hands are shaking and the pressure is getting to them. And that's something that you just don't account for when you're on a controller. 10 degrees means a lot in VR. If you're off with your fireball or with your disc by 5 degrees, 10 degrees, you're gonna miss. Where in a traditional game, you have some room for error. So it just builds up the pressure and the excitement for the spectacle.
Yeah, it's interesting because even though you're blocked out, your hands, you still need those hands to go exactly where you want them.
You still need your hands. You still need to move your head around.
Can't shake,
absolutely.
Can't get the nerves. Cool. So we want to know what's next. Are we going to see another title in a VR sports tournament, or what do you have planned for us?
It's been really exciting this year. I mean, we were at IEM Oakland. We were at IOM in Australia. We were at DreamHack, where Lugia came up. Microsoft has been great hosting us for these 80 stores in this tournament with the Unspoken. So we're looking to keep continuing and seeing what we can do with esports in general with competitive play. One of the titles we're really excited about is coming from a company called Ready at Dawn. We're doing a game called Echo Arena, which is actually a 5v5 game. So you get competitive, you get cooperative, and it's kind of a full contact 0G sports game, which is really exciting to see. So while it's fantastic to see these one-on-one matchups, when you start seeing the social elements of competition and watching these teams have to master being in VR and master having to play each other with each other, it's phenomenal to see.
Yeah, that's cool. We're going to need a much bigger space, right, when we have teams playing together?
Well, there's the space, but this is VR. So I think one of the things we're really excited about seeing is bringing spectator into VR. So imagine we're watching these people now in virtual reality, but imagine the people at home can put on their VR headsets and be in the match with them. Be sitting on these buildings, watching these casters fight it out.
That's cool.
In a sports game, thousands of us being in an arena and hearing kind of the crowd getting really excited, or when there's a missed shot, kind of the awes of disappointment. So you really kind of get those, thrill of victory, agony of defeats all together, connecting people across the world to be able to experience these things.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thanks
I'm sure
for
we're going to
having
check
us.
in with you a little bit later. But right now we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with some more Unspoken action.
This is Captain Liv Rhodes, personal log entry for 7 of October 2126. Morning, sunshine. And how are we feeling today?
Echo unit identified. Sensor array ahead. Please follow.
I have a visual on the anomaly. It seems to be growing more unstable.
Expect electrical interference.
Jack, what happened?
Energy spike from the anomaly.
Okay, you'll need to cut through to access the fuse box. Jack, I need you. Find a Fury transport and get back here now.
Inbound on your location. Are you alright?
Oh, thank God for you. It just switched on.
Anomaly detected.
What the hell? Jack, you see...
Captain Rhodes, you are in danger.
We've been punished by an endless winter for a generation, with no end in sight. Decades of technological progress could not prepare us for what happened. Vostok was first to feel it, and first to fall. For you, this is a job. For us, it is hope of another chance. Keep watch, stay vigilant, protect our home.
Welcome back to Oculus, the Unspoken tournament here at the Mixer Studios at the Microsoft Store flagship on 5th Avenue. We are about to start the final match of our first round. But first, we're going to see what you guys have been saying on social. We've got user Rolltide Gamer. He said, FOMO, level at a high right now, so jealous. Hey Rolltide, listen, if you're ever in New York City, you can come by at the Mixer NYC studio and we will be here. We'll play with you. And then user XSkit says, there is something extremely rewarding about practicing and improving in a game like the Unspoken. That's true. I mean, you can't really compare it to a controller-based game. You're right, it's totally a new experience for all of us, and I think that's why it's the next great esport. I gotta say, I'm still here. I'm chatting it up with you guys, so you gotta let me know your favorite moves and techniques. I need all the help that I can get. I've obviously never played, but I'm learning so much from everyone. But for now, we're gonna take it back to the pros, our casters, before we start our next match.
We're about to get into our fourth match. We have Cloud X Soldier versus Nerd Burglar. Optic J, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts about this match are I'd like to see a true fist fight come out of this one. You know, I'm not familiar with what both of these characters have played in the past, but I would like to see, if we see a telekinesis, I'd like to see some mass drops. I'd like to see a little bit more.
Mass drops are huge.
I'd like to see just a little bit more aggression coming out of them. And I want to see someone shut down a blackjack, for goodness sake.
Yeah, blackjack seems to be the key class right now. Although this is the beginning stages, as we get closer in this tournament, these aren't going to be shutouts. These are going to be people that are going head-to-head. As we're about to go head-to-head here with Cloud X Soldier and the Nerd Burglar.
That's right. Now, we have 2 blackjacks coming in to square it off. We've said this many times.
This is our first. This is our first.
We've traditionally seen so far in this tournament a kineticist and a blackjack. Now we have our first battle of the blackjacks out here in the grand finals. And Cloud Soldier's already down to nearly 50% health.
With
the
no
aggression's
embers.
out.
No embers right now.
No embers on either
50%
side. They're there.
Health.
First ember's up, Nerd Burglar picks it up. The second ember for Cloud Soldier has actually been destroyed along with his podium. What a strategic advantage that Nerd Burglar is now in. What will he cast first when it comes to
Nerd Burglar is going to have to make sure that he puts himself in a good position so he has time for the cast, because right now he's definitely losing life, although Cloud X Soldier just lost about 10% of his health in one hit, which, like you say, one hit can decide, like, they can turn the entire game right now.
Absolutely. Now we got Nerd Burglar. They got roughly the same health, but Nerd Burglar has the advantage with 2 embers.
And
if he gets this out,
this is the first very fast-paced, intense, evenly matched game we've seen right now. It's getting pretty ridiculous.
It is getting pretty ridiculous.
We got Cthulhu grasp on both sides. Dueling grasps. They held hands.
Nerd Burglar's neck and neck in the fight. Nerd Burglar trying to stay away from the
This is a very close match. Cloud X Soldier down to nothing.
Wow.
And Cloud X Soldier goes down. Nerd Burglar with the first win. This is what I'm here. My seat is warm. My seat is warm. It feels good.
We finally got the fist fight we wanted. Nerd Burglar had an advantage anyway. 2 Ember Stones, but had 2 spells out there.
Oh, they're coming out. They're coming out blazing right off the bat again. This is intense. Cloud X Soldier taking about 20% health already away. Jay, right now, I want you to call a name right now. Which one's winning this round? Call it right now. Don't go back on it.
I'm going to go Nerd Burglar again. He's playing strategic.
And as Nerd Burglar just takes 20%, and I look awesome.
I will stay with my decision. I
applaud your decision making. We're going to see what happens. I'm going for Cloud X Soldier, who is being extremely strategic on using very small hits. The Cthulhu Grasp is out. Will he force him to go? Nope, and it goes out just in time. Cloud X Soldier hasn't even moved. This man is confident. This is the one you look out for at the Magician Show. This guy, he can pull out multiple rabbits out of his hat. This is what I'm looking at right now.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We got
taking another
big
hit. Neck and neck again. Here we go, the final blows.
Smack, and look what happened.
Cthulhu's out against Nerd Burglar. He's got no mobility around the map.
Nobody's going to go for the summons. That's not going to happen. This is, again, neck and neck. This is a matter of who gets hit hardest first. In the Cthulhu Grass, Nerd Burglar goes down, and here we go.
We got the match.
This is where it goes down. Somebody had their Magician Wheaties this morning and shared it with his opponent because they are evenly matched, and this is getting into a good third round.
Yes, and for our viewers at home, remember this is a best of 3. We're in the final round right here. Nerd Burglar taking significant damage, moving around the map to try to better position himself against Cloud Soldier. He has 1 Ember Stone up right now. He needs to get it off. I have not seen one displayed come out from the Nerd Burglar side.
And I don't even think they have time. It's hit after hit after hit. Nerd Burglar already 25% down in health. Cloud X Soldier, not as mobile as Nerd Burglar, but for some reason putting up the big hits like he just did on Nerd Burglar. But as we saw last time, that doesn't necessarily mean you're a winner.
That's right. And one thing about the Blackjack class that you see is that because you have such precision in your basic attacks, I think you can see these kind of late game spawns or where there's more of a battle of some of your basic attacks for a dominant portion of the time. I think that's okay to see. You get the Cthulhu's out there. Both of these guys are doing it back and forth to each other. The Cthulhu's out there prevent you from teleporting. The basic attacks kind of take most of your damage here. You collect embers and then you release those embers as soon as you possibly can, when the time is right, not just as soon as you possibly can, when you get them.
Now, Cloud X Soldier playing a little safe, but at the same time, he could have taken that summons last time. He had 2 hits on the summons and could have gotten it. And now using his cloak, which means basically Nerd Burglar has no idea where he was, so he has to destroy those cloaks to find out what exact. Oh, and we got the summons out. We have the serpents.
Wow.
This is not going to look good for Nerd Burglar. Although Cloud Soldier is even with he has less health. So this could be any match right now.
It was good timing to conjure that up because of the Spectral Cloak that was out there from Cloud Soldier. But they're still neck and neck. One final blow is just going to be about to do it here.
Nerd Burglar takes it
down. Okay, we've got ourselves a match.
We got ourselves a match here, folks. Cloud Soldier with the 2-1 victory. And that was not a blowout on any round by any means, by any competitor.
Right.
And I don't know about you, but I have tingly sensations in the tips of my fingers.
I do. And what we saw there is not so much a reliance on getting out an Ember, right? We saw people using the Cthulhu, so that way one player suffocated on a platform. We'd see a counter with a Cthulhu from the other person. The basic attacks are flying all over the place. Why do you think would change?
Honestly, I think what changed was they weren't giving each other any time to figure each other out.
Right.
They were coming out blazing. Both were coming out. One wasn't planning and the other one wasn't just firing. It was both of them were coming out with a mission and a plan and they were firing and they stuck by their guns the whole time. They really were both kind of in the same wavelength of being mobile, except a little bit Soldier stayed a little bit more stationary, but at the same time, they were both playing what I felt was with their own game plan and not worrying about the other person and just going at each other cutthroat. And that's what came down to. Every match came down to the last 10%.
Absolutely. What do you think could have made it different right there to kind of make it a lopsided victory for one of the players?
Honestly, I think Cloud Soldier would have defeated Nerd Burglar faster if he didn't go for that summons.
Right.
With a fast-paced gameplay like this, we saw on the leaderboards people were not using summonses because they were so intense on trying to drop the other player.
Right.
But it was really impressive to see him go for that because it almost looked like he was showboating a little bit.
Right.
Because you're at that's top tier gameplay between two people and he's going for the extra oomph.
Right.
You know, I'm just at oomph. He went for the extra oomph. So
Yes.
I'm yet to experience the extra oomph.
Right.
But very solid gameplay. I mean,
absolutely. Well, the next matchup is Pulaski. Who do you think is going to win this?
Pulaski Circle is definitely a map where Blackjack can really thrive.
Right.
But Blackjack versus Blackjack, it seems like it could go. To me, I'm going to call this right now. I think it's going to go very fast, but both of them are come down to the very close wire. I think it's going to be a very fast match, but it's going to be down to the last 10% again, only because Pulaski Circle is kind of tailored for the Blackjack a little bit.
It is.
And I don't think anyone's going to call the Reaper in. I don't think. I think this match is going to be too intense. If it does happen, amazing. But as far as I'm concerned, this is going to be a battle of the triggers.
Well, the other good thing about Pulaski Circle, and I like your comment there about it being built for the Blackjack, is you can see a lot of the mastery that comes out with the displays. Who's going to be curving it around the center?
Yep.
Who's going to be getting more of them off? I think we're going to see some of that filter in and actually ultimately be a deciding factor of who's going to win this next match.
The curve disc, honestly, it's so exciting seeing people that can do them really well. I can't do them very well. It takes a lot of practice.
It does.
And seeing them being worked really well like that, especially in Pulaski Circle, when you can just move around in circles and you can use the rift touches to curve those discs over around corners. To me, it's like it's sniping. You're basically sniping somebody.
That's right.
It's a magician snipe. It's a mipe.
It's a mipe, a magician snipe.
It's a mipe.
Did you say scythe? Did you incorporate your name into that?
A smife. A smipe.
A scythe. I scythed him.
My name is totally being butchered right now. That's I'm not a magician.
You're not. You're not. Well, we'll have to square off and see which one can get that Dimness leg up. And here we go, folks. Cloud X Soldier against Nerd Burglar. We're heading into our final best of 3 between these two characters here. And like we said, look, they already set up to where they could have the disc blade to curve around the corner.
Now, curious enough, we're going to see if they charge them up all the way, because a fully charged disc does a substantial amount of damage.
Absolutely. You notice how Cloud Soldier was actually waiting and anticipating that Nerd Burglar was going to go to his back podium.
And I was completely wrong in my prediction. They're not going as intensely at each other as they were the first time.
Yeah.
And I think that might be because...
Here comes the first disc blade. Will he curve it around the corner? Cloud Soldier spins it up.
Oh, he moved. He moved instead of throwing it around the corner, which actually was good in the meantime because Nerd Burglar had already moved anyway. Oh, another... Oh!
My goodness.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Well done, Nerd Burglar, responding just very furiously.
that was executed very well, actually.
And again, do you think Cloud Soldier hesitated, though, when he was spinning up the
I think he did. I think he got nervous, and then you could tell he moved to get closer to him.
Right.
I think he was a little nervous because, again, you guys are looking at this from a caster point of view. From a first-person standpoint, he may not even be able to see him around that corner at all, and he doesn't know what he's conjuring up or what spell he's getting ready to cast. So I think he got nervous.
Well, back and forth as we go with the primary spells coming in. Nerd Burglar dropping Cloud X Soldier down to nearly 50% health. A lot of movement getting ready to come up. The first ember's been collected by Nerdburglar. Well, he collected some before, but man, he needed some.
Cloud Soldier's taking some serious hits right now.
He is. Cthulhu Grasp is up on Nerdburglar.
Now, he can curve a disc right now, and the Cthulhu Grasp is already gone. He's charging these discs up and not throwing them in time.
Here comes the next ember. Disc blade.
Wait,
curve it.
Nerdburglar's going to curve it. Is he going to curve it? Nope, he didn't curve it either.
He saved it and anticipated. He wants a direct hit.
I think they're nervous.
Oh my gosh,
he got him in the grasp and a loss. Oh my God, Nerdburglar.
Oh my
with the win.
goodness.
Excellent execution of the Cthulhu Grasp. Excellent execution. As somebody was moving, it was the luck of the draw. He got them right when Cloud was moving, and it just worked in his favor.
And it's very typical behavior of the blackjack to come in. It's like whenever you see a blackjack who has got you below a quarter health,
yep,
they're going to make a move that's going to suffocate you with the Cthulhu's Grasp. They're going to be spinning a disc blade around the corner. It's going to be something where you know you should be watching for that big win.
Yeah, it's at this point now, when you have 50% health or less and you're playing as a blackjack, you need to look out for the big hit or the grasp at this point. Yes. But this is the round where I'm wondering if somebody's going to call the Reaper.
Both components.
It's anyone's game still. This is one of those where I don't care who won the first round or not. They're fighting over it right now. Right. They're already fighting over it. They're going. In fact, he's missing though. He has to move. Nerdburglar has to move around the corner because again, this is virtual reality, so you can't just throw it from any angle. And Cloud Soldier got it.
Cloud Soldier ready to get summoned.
He's going to use his cloak to see if he can hide. He didn't move in his cloak. Now the point of the cloak is to be able to move platform so that hopefully you're not seen and be able to use it to use like cast a summons or a big fully charged disc, but he wasn't able to move and he took the damage from it.
Nerdburglar reading that really well. I mean, you saw Nerdburglar immediately after the Spectral Cloak was classed. He goes to his platform and he's starting to do the
Now this is excellently executed. He went into the cloak and it took all 3 hits, 3 cloaks to go down from Nerdburglar to even know where Soldier was at. It should have been enough time for him to conjure the summons up, but I don't think he was able to.
The green Cthulhu's Grasp comes up. Nerdburglar taking significant damage. They're getting down neck and neck. Nerdburglar almost eliminated through a few blows.
He did get the summon out, but will it be enough time? No, it's not. It's not enough time. It's not enough time. I told you.
You're right.
These are too intense. These are too intense. It's a risky move. It's a risky move to use a summons when these two people are competing so furiously right now. A summons is almost like it's a gamble, and it's a very, very hard gamble.
Well, we talked about this before the tournament even began, and we said at this level of play, you shouldn't rely too heavily on winning a game through a summons, right?
Yeah.
You got to rely on your basic attacks, and of course, using whatever you create from an Ember to get in your heavier attacks.
Your best bet right now is if you're not playing with somebody at the same class and the same caliber, is you want to use the summons if you win the first round to confuse your opponent and cause them to worry about what's going on and maybe confuse them because of the fact you're moving a lot faster in the last round. But in this one, where you're both having the same type of game style, using a summons is almost very, very useless in the point where you're spending way too much time, that competitor's going after you. And for you, what you need to worry about is charging those discs. We didn't see a lot of those discs going around corners. We saw some people hesitate. Fully charged discs going around corners have been devastatingly good for damage. And I was actually surprised they weren't used as much.
Right.
But in the end, it was down to, again, the last 10% health. It was one of those things where they were literally neck and neck the entire time.
You know, I would actually argue that if you are not the kineticist and you're not using your force shield, you should not summons based on the level of skill that I'm seeing from the blackjack players here.
I kind of want to agree, actually.
Yeah, it almost seems that you're just going to be too suffocated. You're using it too late game, and they've already got to jump on you. A lot of the blackjacks here are so solid at quickly collecting their embers and getting out their spells, and they're playing so aggressive to where
And imagine this in VR.
Right.
We're watching this at a viewpoint that they're not being able to watch it at.
Right, absolutely.
And
Cloud
as we
Soldier
go
taking
into
the first blood damage here, and staying at his home podium, now getting ready to transfer over. He does see the first ember pop up on the red side of the screen. Nerdburglar moving strategically around the map. Who's going to be the first one to use their ember?
We can't call anything at this point now. I mean, they're very evenly matched.
They are very evenly matched.
And they've been playing extremely well together. But what I'm looking for going into this is discs. I'm looking for fully charged discs. I think
the first one by Cloud Soldier lands directly on
Look at the
Nerdburglar.
damage. Do you see it? I mean, if you can pull it off and execute it in enough time and be mobile enough to stop taking smaller hits, those discs can win you the match.
And while speaking of the discs, as they relate to teleportation to a different podium, I'm not quite just seeing the timing come out here yet. You're usually waiting for someone to transfer to another podium, having your disc ready and releasing it because of the cooldown on the teleportation. And
a dual Cthulhu grasp again at the same time. It's the second time we've seen both of these competitors do that.
Oh my goodness, Cloud Soldier getting instantly eliminated by Nerdburglar. The combos, baby. The combos are real as we go into match 2.
Look at him, he's fully charged. I hope he's not pointing that at me. Point that somewhere else.
One thing I noticed about Cloud Soldier is that he's usually staying on his starting podium.
He tries to,
at the beginning.
He doesn't move very much at the very beginning at all.
And I think that's okay. I would say that his opening strategy is to let the other player.
He's assessing, or is he trying to?
I think he's assessing and trying to. He needs to do a better job of this, but he's trying to get his primary spell shot at the enemy while Nerdburglar is in cooldown and moving across.
And I haven't seen Nerdburglar use the cloaks.
Right.
I've seen Cloud Soldier use them many times, but I have not seen Nerdburglar use the cloaks, and it's kind of interesting to me because those cloaks can really give you a lot of time. Although Cloud Soldier is down to about 25% health, he is not looking extremely good going into this next round. Now, he's going for this, Nerdburglar has 1 hit on the summons, 2 hits.
Oh my goodness.
They're going back and forth.
Neck and neck on it.
You can literally fight for this.
Yes, you
can.
can.
Sit here and play tug of war with this summons.
But Cloud Soldier being closer to it has got a little bit of an advantage. He's, less distance.
He's got a little bit of an advantage, but he's also exposed. He takes it. Now, this is where it's going to come down to, will these cloaks be enough time for him to cast? He didn't move. That was risky. That was risky.
That was,
but he got the serpents out, and now Nerdburglar is going to have to defeat all 3 of these serpents and hope that Soldier doesn't come around from a flank and use it to put serious damage on Nerdburglar.
Look how well Nerdburglar defended that overall strategy. Let me
2 serpents already down.
Yeah. Cloud Soldier spawns a Spectral Cloak. He summons the serpents. The serpents are firing away.
He's deflecting.
Destroyed all 3.
Nerdburglar actually sacrificed himself to go into Cthulhu grasp to keep from taking a hit from the serpent.
I think it's those risky plays that are going to make or break people when it's this neck and neck.
That's an insane actual strategy. I never even thought of that. He actually knows the actual damage output of what he's going to take in.
Right.
And he decides which one's going to take the least amount of damage and goes for it.
It's always going to be the risk when you have 2 players who are neck and neck like this. Nerdburglar not afraid to go out of his comfort zone.
Congratulations. It didn't work out.
Instantly.
Nerdburglar with the 2-0 shutout, which, I mean, there's no way to predict that with these 2. There's no way to predict that. It was a fantastic 2 rounds. I mean, Cloud Soldier played excellent. Nerdburglar played excellent. This wasn't a one-sided game. This wasn't a predictable game. And honestly, respect to both people for the last, the last 2 rounds.
Well, and the disc spell that happened right there, phenomenal.
The discs. The discs
and the disc spells. I mean, all over the place. You have people who are, you've got the Cthulhu on one side, the spell on the next, a counter Cthulhu, and then you've got a spinning disc, you've got the summons. It's all over the place. But again, Nerdburglar.
He lived by his name. He snuck in, he burglarized you, and stole your nerd.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
He took your wizard.
That's right, absolutely.
This is what I like to see.
Yeah.
And I think this is what we're gonna see going further in this tournament. Are these close matches? What's going to be interesting is what's going to happen when it's not 2 blackjacks, when it's 2 other classes working together.
Yeah, I'm almost ready to see, are there any anarchists out there who are going to bring it back to life? Or is there a Kineticist who's going to destroy?
Now, we got Nerdburglar with Anna right now. We're going to go to her and hear about this victory. Anna?
Thanks, guys. I am here with the last winner of the first round. This is Nerdburglar. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How was that for you? How was that game?
Pretty nerve-wracking, honestly.
Was it?
Yeah, after that first game, I thought I was done, to be honest.
But you weren't done. Yeah. You're here to fight, right? You're here to win.
Definitely.
You're here all the way from California?
Yeah.
Cool. Is this your first time in New York?
It's my 3rd.
Your 3rd.
Yeah.
Were you here? You weren't here for other tournaments,
No,
though? No? Tell me, do you have any strategies for people at home who are watching? You don't want to give away your secrets, but
combos, and more combos, honestly.
Combos, and more combos. That could be on a T-shirt right now, right? That's a good motto to have.
Yeah.
Are you nervous for the next rounds? Are you excited? How do you feel right now?
Yeah, I'm pretty nervous to go against Charizard, #1 in the world. Oh.
No, honestly, you have people here rooting for you though, right?
Yeah.
Let's wave to them. Thanks for rooting for us. All right, cool. Well, good luck in the rest of the tournament today.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks.
All right, we're gonna give it back to our casters.
Man, there's a sharp feeling in my legs. You wanna know why? Because I'm on the edge of my seat.
Right.
It's pointy. I don't like it. Get me back to my comfort zone. I can't. It's been really exciting.
Let's talk about comfort zones.
Again, I want to go back to imagine the feeling they're in when you're in this game.
Right.
Like, and a lot of people, you're seeing this from a caster point of view, you're seeing this from a show point of view, and I know the excitement is there, and I know you guys are really enjoying it. But imagine yourself playing this game, putting the headset on, being immersed in everything. You're not surrounded by your bedroom or your living room. You're in the game and you're doing this. Jay, when you played this at DreamHack and you played very well against some of the other people at Optic.
Right.
Just explain to them exactly how intense this is when you're playing this game.
It's super intense. I mean, you're immersed into an environment where you can do nothing but think, act, and feel spell, you know? So you want to suffocate your enemy, you want to get to the platform, you feel like you've got all these toys and you just don't know what to do with it, right? You just want to fire them all at once, but that's just not the way to do it. And with this bracket, we're seeing players, I don't know, we're seeing players that are either playing it safe or just almost not even playing at all, like the previous match before this.
I mean, in this bracket right now, we're looking at competitors. We got Charizard versus Nerd Burglar. We have got Vidman versus Server Error. And these are going to be matches that are not going to be close.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
I mean, these are going to be down to the wire. These are going to be down to the last second. And I'm extremely, extremely impressed.
Well, give me your prediction. Charizard or Nerd Burglar?
Charizard's #1 on the online leaderboards, but I don't like to go off of those. We've been in esports long enough to know that sometimes top-ranked online teams don't always finish first. And sometimes top-ranked players come in, and sometimes they haven't played against somebody else, and they come in, they're underrated, and they come in and all of a sudden perform at top performance. So
here's my prediction with that. They both have very similar play styles. I would say that Charizard is a little more strategic in his end game strategy.
He's slower with his gameplay.
Right. But I don't think it's intentional because he's incapable. I think it's strategic because you'll see him come out with a very strong end gameplay. Whereas with Nerd Burglar, he's very aggressive up front. He's gonna put the pressure on. He's gonna force you to think. He's gonna maybe even force you to rethink your end game strategy.
Agreed.
So I would say that the winner of that next round will be the person who executes the fastest.
Yep. Well, Jay, let's take it back over to Anna, who will be speaking with a member of Unspoken, somebody who I've known and is a really awesome person. So Anna, who you got over there?
Cool, thanks guys. I am here with the senior community developer at Insomniac Games, Tim Salvitti. Welcome, Tim.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming. So, I mean, the people want to know, what is the future for the Unspoken?
Well, we hope this is just a start for competitions. We have a lot of stuff in the works, which we're real excited about. So we hope this is just a start. In terms of the game, we have more content coming throughout this year, more modes. We have a new class coming for the next season. And I think players are going to be shocked at that next class.
At the next class. Cool. Well, I have to ask, as more and more people are getting to experience this game, like what are you hoping to see develop within the community of VR?
Our community has been awesome. They've bonded together over Discord. A lot of them, this is the first they've met each other, but they've talked to each other for months now on the channel. And it's great to see them. They all flew in, met each other last night. They were all hanging out. And this is just a small subset of the overall community. And we're a little small right now, but we're growing and they're providing a lot of valuable feedback to us as developers to make the changes to the game that we want to make and that they want to make. And it's just making the game better and more competitive thanks to them. And it's been great.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of getting some feedback, have there ever been any surprising reactions to the game, like from fans or from players or, that you've received?
Well, I mean, the guys who play, there's not a lot surprising going on there. And I would say at events, the best part is when someone puts on the headset for the first time and plays this game, specifically this game. The reactions we get are crazy, and it's fun to see.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thanks for sitting in with us. I'm sure we'll check in with you in a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back more with some Unspoken action.
Captain's log, stardate 2016.165. Starship USS Aegis is preparing for her maiden voyage. We've gathered some of the most decorated officers in the Federation to test her limits and to prove her place among Starfleet's finest ships. We're en route to a secret testing facility and are proceeding to our destination at maximum warp. This is amazing!
Wow! Absolutely astonishing.
When I walked in, I really wasn't sure what I was actually walking into. This is very cool. If I could have imagined what I would have wanted the Star Trek VR game to be, this is it! This is what we've been waiting for.
Holy crap, this is amazing. I mean, it really is breathtaking. That was an extraordinary experience to be fully encompassed in a world.
Whoa, not into that. You're interacting with each other and you're talking to each other and you're taking orders from the captain and I mean, it's really cool.
There's captain, helm, piloting the ship, tactical, and the engineer routing power and charging warp coils.
I'm feeling pressure already. I'm feeling nervous now.
All right, shields up. Prepare warp. Take us out.
Yes, Captain.
Co-op gameplay is not new. I mean, you know, we can play games with our friends, but there's something different about being in a shared virtual environment.
Hearing who you're playing with, you can look over and see the person and see them doing their job and talk to them.
The team does not succeed unless everybody does their job well.
Ship decloaking, activating shields.
Okay, shields up.
Shields up.
I really did not want to lower the shields while we were under attack. I was very impressed by LeVar playing that game today. He really had the language of Star Trek down.
And they are transporting, Captain.
It was like, yes, this makes you push the buttons.
I will say I nailed being the engineer.
That doesn't sound good.
It's a Klingon. Red alert.
Preparing to warp.
We're under attack. We have been waiting in anticipation for so long for the technology of virtual reality to catch up with where we imagine we should be and where we all want to go. Line us up for warp, please.
We have full power.
Ensign, as soon as you can get us the hell out of here, I'd be most grateful.
This was really incredible.
Hull is down to 20%. Come on, y'all.
Punch it.
As soon as you can. Here we go. Woohoo! It's your own Star Trek experience in a virtual world. You can hang out with whoever you want, and that's a pretty good deal.
Welcome back to Oculus, the Unspoken Tournament, here at the Mixer NYC studio at the Microsoft Store, flagship on 5th Avenue. Let's see what you guys have been saying on social media. We've got on Twitter, Daisy333 says, every time the serpents are summoned, I get so hyped. We all get that. Snakes for the win, right? Just not snakes on a plane, guys. But every day, we're okay with snakes. We've got user Ragnrock. He says that he thinks Charizard is sitting in the audience thinking about which ice cream he will buy after his victory. I gotta say, if he wins again, I'm gonna be asking him what ice cream he wants, and then we're gonna go and eat ice cream together. Right? A lot of you guys are asking about the players needing to utilize the audio cues in the game. I have to say that is the best part of the Unspoken and other VR games. It's a total 360 sensory experience. We love hearing from you guys, so please make sure to hit us up in the chat. And for now, we're going to take it back to our casters.
All right, thanks, Hannah. We are heading into the first semi-finals match of our tournament. We've got Vidman 321 versus Server Error. Syph, what do you think, man?
I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the matches that I was looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely.
These are the matches I was looking forward to.
It's built up.
Yeah, we're talking about very evenly matched competitors. We're talking about really high intensity gameplay, and I think there's going to be a lot of matches where it comes down to the wire.
Definitely.
But there may, I've been proven wrong a lot of times so far. So it could happen where there's a complete blowout. But we're not going to really know until we get into the match, which we're getting into right now.
Awesome. Well, I think we're going to see nothing short of precision, timing,
I blink and there's damage
execution.
already done. I blink and Vidman's already dropped about 15.
Absolutely.
Server Error's dropped about 10.
But not dominant to one side. Our first embers are coming on the map. Going to be interesting to see who casts what here. Server Error does have a little bit less health, but as we've seen from before, it doesn't necessarily matter. He knows exactly what to do and how to position himself for a winning.
And two blackjacks again on Pulaski circles, so we're looking for I'm looking for those curved discs again. I'm sorry, I just feel like they're extremely crucial. I think they're very damaging. I think you were right before that, you know, from their point of view, not seeing that disc come around the corner could really, really give a strategic advantage to the person who threw it.
Well, a strong offensive and defensive player coming out from server error. He does take out the Ember of Vidman along with one of the podiums and moves on to the other side of the map. But you just see Vidman firing shots left and right.
He's got no embers. He's got nothing to lose right now.
All right, here comes a display down here from server error and hits him directly. Vidman, now they're neck and neck.
Hit.
Oh my goodness.
Very nice hit.
This is what you want out of a semifinals, folks. Right here.
Do you believe in magic?
I do believe in magic. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh, you got a mixtape?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Vidman holding on as he gets server error down to about the same amount of health. Oh, he's charging up that disc. Vidman, is he? He's just standing there.
Where's the hesitation?
What's happening?
Oh my goodness, he did. Why didn't he move earlier?
Did he bra him?
I think he was on cooldown from the last teleportation, but it directly hits him. Cthulhu's Grass now up on server error.
Double Cthulhu
Counter
Grass.
Cthulhu on Vidman. The cleanse comes up.
Is it a counter Cthulhu Grass? I like that.
Kind of.
Counter Cthulhu. I like that.
But now server error goes right.
Oh, he's
to get
on
an
the grass.
Ember.
He's taking server error down. It's not looking good.
That's the displayed risk. Here it goes. Around the corner.
Risk. I like it.
Oh
Look
my
at that dodge.
goodness,
That was a
Vidman.
dodge. That was a very good dodge by Vidman.
Oh, that won him the game. That was a deciding factor. That would have dropped. Vidman would have died if he did not transfer out
That
there.
was a
Shots already coming
great
out.
dodge.
The spawn lightning doesn't even finish spawning them into the map before the shots are already fired off. I love seeing games like this. And here we go, both players kind of calculating the next move, one or the other. Server error does get the first Ember up.
Vidman charging his disc, but then stopped for some reason. Both of them stopped with their discs and then moved away.
Yep. Vidman taking the first fatal blow right there. It is the match that we anticipated it would be. There was a lot of calculation coming in. I don't understand. I still don't understand why they were so hesitant on the last one. And the best I can say is that it was a cooldown. Vidman now taking significant damage. He's almost down to 50% health, but delivering shots back to server error, forcing him to move to the next podium. But Vidman kind of doing the same thing that we saw in the previous match, where you got an individual, you kind of let them make their own moves and fire at them as they're making those moves. Another Ember up for server error, stolen away by the Imp.
He's charging the disc, and he put it away.
The Imp.
The Imp, which steals the other person's embers and brings them to you.
Yes.
I haven't seen much of the Imp so far today. And
Me neither.
It's a very, very good thing to use.
It is, and it just boded well in Vidman's favor. He did use the Ember, ultimately dropped server error below 50% health. We're now seeing both players dance around both podiums.
We got the Cthulhu Grasp.
Is up, dispelled immediately by Vidman.
Wow.
These players know what to do.
The dispelling, it's very crucial. We saw last map when they're taking down the summon, like the serpents, and using the dispeller to just immediately cast them away. And obviously, using that is very strategic in winning. But Vidman doesn't look like he's going to get. He's hiding in his cloak. He doesn't know where to go. And now it looks like he's about one disc away.
Yeah, and it's not even enough time for Vidman to get off the summon.
GG's to server error. I called it. It's going to go down to the wire. We're 1v1. This is the first round for them, and it's already 1-1 on matches right now. And this is extremely, extremely intense as both go into the third round of the first match here. And what are you thinking?
I was a toss-up. I couldn't decide before this. We knew that it was going to be precision gameplay. The first disc blade around the corner spins all the way and hits server error.
It's good. It's a good thing to use.
I love seeing that. We said before the match started there will be some risk that needs to be involved.
the curvature of the disc.
Yeah, the curvature of the disc. Well, we got another summon orb out in the middle of the screen. Server error making the first hit on it. They're going to go back and forth and kind of ping-pong their way to see who will take it over.
I'm actually surprised they're both fighting over this right now.
That could be good because they have enough health to where someone could get that off. You do need a spectral cloak this late in the game to plant that on the podium.
And you would need to be strategic. Do you stay on the same platform and assume that they're going to go after the others, or do you move if you go into that?
I would pull up the spectral cloak, go to one or two more, and then cast. But
you would do two moves.
I would do two moves.
Wow.
Depending on because spectral cloak.
Server error got it.
Yeah.
And immediately now, do you think?
Oh my gosh! The spinning display curved around the corner and dropped him in. He's gonna have to use as much of the spectral cloak as he possibly can in order to get that up. But at this point, it's difficult to say.
Vidman has known every single cloak he's been in.
Yes, he has.
Like he guessed right the first time twice.
Here comes a disc blade up from server error.
Uh-oh.
Server error cannot move. He's got the Cthulhu's Grasp. No dispel to answer to it. Now the summons is up. Oh my
he
gosh!
dispelled it?
Oh my gosh, that was so fast! Vidman coming out with a surprise victory.
God!
Oh my gosh, well played.
Dare I say
Vidman.
that was magical?
That was magical, dude.
Oh man, that...
I was expelling you. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that.
Wow,
expelling you to say that.
You took an alarm arm and you reached for that one.
I did. I reached way deep into the candy
used a
jar.
yardstick on that one.
A long yardstick.
A large wand.
Exceptional match, as we saw, dude. We talked about precision. We talked about risk.
You were extremely correct on predicting what the... but the cloaks, I could not believe that he knew exactly which cloak he was in twice in a row. That was extremely well. I think that played a very big benefit for him in winning that match.
Yeah, it did. It did. I feel he did not use the spectral cloak at the end to his ultimate advantage. He kind of used it to one spot and then went to another one and quickly got uncovered.
Yeah.
And then there are a few floating around there before the end of it up, but I still feel like using your teleport cooldown can
and it's kind of hard to do it from our point of view to see what they're seeing, especially in Pulaski Circle, where you're not seeing everything directly in front of you because our object's in front of you. But it seemed that, like, you know, the mobility of what cloak he should have been under should have been the one directly in front of the main pillar in Pulaski Circle. But it looks like, you know, he was able to actually take down both cloaks that he was in, which to me I've never seen done before.
Right.
I've seen people use spectral cloaks. I see them move from platform to platform. But it usually takes a hit or two to figure out where they're at.
Right.
I mean, he nailed them twice.
He did.
In a
that
row.
Hurt. That hurt.
And that's what contributed to the win.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
We're going to match number 2. Where they are.
It's a Wild West gun show, man. It's the fight at the OK Corral in a second here. They come out firing, but Server Error taking most of the damage up front.
Oh my goodness, Vidman takes a huge hit.
Server Error does get the first ember of the map here. Let's see what he conjures up first. We've seen Server Error. He's playing very aggressive.
Its primary spells right now just being used.
But that's kind of what wins you the game, right?
It
sets
does.
you up for
Like,
success.
I think the trick is to get them down to about 25% taken off their health, and then you start using your embers.
First Displate is out for Server Error, but he gets nailed. Returns fire with Vidman with the Displate. Man, they are neck and neck towards the end
down again
here.
to about Vidman, a little bit of a disadvantage, but Server Error looking like he's trying. Oh, we got double Cthulhu's out. And nobody's just going to move at this point.
Well, the dispel coming in real quick from Vidman allows for a lot more mobility, and he's going to spin up that Displate and be able to fire it off. Server Error now back at his home podium.
That would have been a good place for a fully charged disc right now.
I actually thought I was going to see the end of it right there. I did.
That would have been a really good place for that.
Yep.
But right now they're back where they started, except one is about one hit away, and the other one's about a good charge of a disc. Right?
Oh my goodness! Solid play by Vidman, taking the Ember of Server Error, knocking over one of his podiums. Mobility is now restricted, but Vidman doesn't have enough health to necessarily get something off fast. So whatever
it was a risky
does,
move using that hit to take out the other Ember, and he goes down as Server Error takes round 1 of match number 2.
See, if you're going to commit to a move like that, you have to finish.
Yeah.
So it's you almost have to call into question why he would go for that Ember in the first place, knowing that he may have not had enough.
That late in the game with that much momentum, worrying about taking an Ember seems to be a little bit. You should have used that at the beginning. Taking Embers at the beginning of the match could really, turn the tide of a match for you.
Yeah, so a lot of basic gameplay coming out here, but by no means...
Vidman taking another huge hit.
By no means unsatisfactory, because these players know how to exchange blows. It always is going to come neck and neck with them. I'm not seeing the massive amounts of movement that I thought I was going to see from these top-tier blackjack players.
Well,
not in a bad way, but
it's because this map, there's a lot of good line of sight.
Sure.
And when you're using your primary spells and you're just going back and forth, you can get a lot of good hits immediately, very quickly. Especially as a blackjack on this map. So they're taking advantage of that as quickly as possible by being able to just get really good hits because you can see your opponent very easily from almost every platform.
And you notice Vidman right there too. He had an Ember on his home platform. He did not go to that podium to collect it. Gave Server Error plenty of time to dispel it. And now he's even lost another podium. We do have the orb up here. Server Error is the first one to do damage on it. Will he go for it again? Probably not the best of the moves, but Vidman is almost down.
Risking it again. It's not going into his favor, Jay. I'm worried that
this could be it. Server Error realizes it, abandons going after the summon.
I would too. Go for blood. Go for blood. You need one good hit.
Ooh, Cthulhu's Grasp comes out now. Server Error getting dragged down to the final balance
Very
of his
nice
health.
counter.
Oh, this could be super close. Server Error just needs one more direct hit.
Vidman is not giving up. He's not going down easily. He's firing back as best he can. Server Error is deflecting as best he can right now, but he's taking damage.
Neck and neck. Server Error now goes to the middle platform and says it's not for you today.
Oh, he's right in front of him. He takes out Server was phenomenal. Everyone here at a complete shock right now. GG to Vidman.
Finally.
That's a person who stepped up to the plate, kicked the plate, put it in a dumpster, and shipped it to Nicaragua. That's what happened. That thing is gone.
That is one of the most intense games I've seen in this. That's what we love about the Unspoken VR. You never know.
It doesn't matter.
You never know.
It's strategy or strategery, as you said 15 minutes ago. I remember that.
Strategery. It's a coined word. We're going to use it. Vidman now taking significant blows. He might be a little shaken up after that round.
But this is standard. Vidman taking damage at the beginning and then all of a sudden coming back. This is standard.
But another heavy blow comes in for
standard. That's a little less than half. Okay.
Will they go for the orb here? Who knows? If I were Vidman, I'd stick to my game.
I would not.
Do what won in the game last time. Now dropping server error to 50% health. Here we go, neck and neck for the game.
It's a race. It's a primary foot race right now.
It's a primary foot race.
It's a primary foot race.
You can see both players gonna ignore the orb. It looked like he was going for it. I think server error knows better. He knows better. Now even Vidman's taking shots at it.
They're both getting their embers. Oh wait, no, they both took each other's embers.
Neck and neck as we get to close out map
Double
3.
Cthulhu Grasp this close to the end of the match. And this is not a game to be taken lightly. This is
Vidman suffering blow. Well done by server error. They think and play the same. But it's a matter of executing quickly and hitting those shots more accurately.
It's like basically when you're on the playground, you're that one kid who just decided to go for the basket when you're facing all your opponents.
Oh yeah.
You just went for it.
Absolutely.
Even though you're both evenly matched. Very, very good match by server error.
Man, were you surprised?
Honestly, I almost didn't even know who was winning at one point. It got
you
kind
just
of
exchanged
confused.
shots back and forth.
I was a little confused. I did. But man, wow. Like we said, as this tournament gets further deeper towards the finals, it's going to get more intense. Yeah. And as you can see, it does not matter how much health you have left. Right. If you're at 10% health and the other person's at 25, if you play your cards right, no pun intended.
Right.
But as a blackjack, you can.
I get you. I get you on that wild card, mentioning that wild card spell.
Oh, you use those too? Okay.
Yeah.
How about we give server error a chance to talk about a strategy maybe, and maybe Anna can get out of him pretty soon exactly what happened maybe if he wins this. If not, we're going to have to never know what his strategy was going into that round.
Well, Pulaski's Circle will be the deciding factor. We're heading there next.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to think.
I mean, I feel like you got to be watching for that spinning disc blade to come around a corner.
I'm already predicting server error to win, but
you're predicting server error to win.
I just want to find out exactly what his thought process was in that last round. The round before he almost got shut down. I mean,
well, I was saying this before we get into our post-game analysis, but they Cthulhu and counter Cthulhu every single time.
It's
they have a very similar play style.
The time it takes to use that spell, it's very strange that they're able to both do it at the same time. Like they're both thinking on the same wavelength what they're supposed to do. And here we go. We're going into it right now. Oh man, about 30 shots were just fired. I mean, primary spells were just cast immediately as soon as the round started.
Yes.
Vidman taking a little bit of damage.
Server error and Vidman. I can summarize them in I think fairly easy. It's getting off your primal spells at the beginning. You chip them down. Here comes the first disc blade. Could it be spun around the corner? No, not even fired off yet.
And again, this is a Pulaski Circle, another great map that using that those discs and fully charged discs and curving them around can do serious damage unexpectedly to your opponent.
That's right. We got another ammo back at the home platform. Server error does pick it up, taking a difficult blow to digest.
A good amount of damage right there. Good amount of damage.
Next disc blade is being spun up, not quite released yet. Server error looking at the next one.
He's in the Cthulhu Grasp, taking about 20% damage. Well executed by server error.
A disc blade was just released by server error. Direct hit on Vidman. Now they're both below 50% health. This is the exchange we want. You see him start to heat up a little bit.
He's charging up his server error. Charging up his disc. He stopped again. We're seeing a lot of he takes his platform out, but we're seeing a lot of second guessing on the fully charged discs right now.
Yeah. A lot of the
risk it for the biscuit, man.
Distant.
Risk it for the biscuit.
Look, neither one of them are really battling with any of the middle podiums here. Now, of course, server error goes in to collect his ember, but I bet you he backs out. Yeah, there we go. He backs right out and gets ready to.
We got the Cthulhu Grasp out. Now, what is Vidman going to do to get him to get into that Cthulhu Grasp, which is not much because he doesn't have a really good line of sight.
If server error lands a disc blade, that's incredible.
That was an incredible shot by server error.
Round one.
And Vidman goes down. Server error takes round one of match number 3. It's getting real.
Well, I'm almost at a loss, man. Because, you know,
there's no predictions at this point.
There's no predictions. We're not seeing use of the spectral cloak. We're just seeing flat out a brawl.
Is there really time for a spectral cloak? They're using their Cthulhu grasp to try to get first people locked into one spot, but they're not taking advantage of that locked spot they're in.
Right. It's very systematic in terms of them just firing out the shots. Almost like
they're
a
not
machine
giving
gun
each other
sticking
time.
out of your arm.
They're not giving each other time. They are going for each other's throats, or whatever a magician has underneath his head. Maybe a magic flask.
They got a magician V-neck.
A magician V-neck. Do they have those downstairs?
They might have those downstairs.
Awesome.
Server error, spinning up a disc, does not ultimately fire off the shot. We've now got an orb on the map. Will any of them go for it?
Will they go for it is the question. This is a very, very, very dangerous thing in a match like this. When
I think we know our answer too. The exchange.
They have no time.
The fire rate of exchange right now is just incredible.
Yeah, they have no time. It wouldn't be worth it.
Oh, one of them was it? Nope. The orb moves down to the middle of the map. They are going to go for it.
Went for it. He's still going for it.
He's going to take the risk. I like it, but Vidman would ideally be the person that goes for it. He has more health. Now he's getting drowned out a little bit here.
He got it. Now, will the cloak be enough for him to get his summons with this little bit of health? Or will he even try it? He's going for it.
Spectral shield, here we go.
He's going for it.
This is what we predicted.
Will he move? He does move.
Smart move by using Cthulhu's grasp in order to drop the spectral shield down.
He doesn't know what to do.
Don't might cast up yet. Oh my gosh!
He got him! He got him! Good guess by Vidman.
But you look at his shield though, man.
Will it be enough time? No.
Oh man.
Vidman with the win.
Vidman and Server Error both getting those precise blocks, man. There's like the perfect block that comes in
summons,
and sends it back.
It was really risky for that summon. It was really risky.
It was. It was an interesting play though because he did do it.
Cthulhu Grasp already taking significant damage off of Vidman at the beginning of the game. I have not seen a Cthulhu Grasp that early in the match yet.
Right, but he also dispelled it very quick as well, so it wasn't the ultimate damage. It didn't cause enough to where it would be in a very desperate position. More blows coming in exchange, almost nearly tied in terms of their health right now.
No one with an Ember right now. Vidman's about to acquire one.
That imp is a champion.
The imp is very, very underutilized, I think.
And it can bode well for you in late game play.
Oh my goodness, what a good disc by Vidman to Server Error, which took about another 10% damage. Yeah, the imp can literally, the imp's job is to steal your opponent's embers, and it does a good job of it.
Well, Vidman may answer back here and drop Server Error, who's now with...
He's charging his disc. He's over. He's charging it.
10% health left here. Here it goes.
Oh, he moved just in time for the Cthulhu grabs. Did you see that?
I did.
The only platform that didn't get it, he moved exactly where he needed to go. That was phenomenal by Server Error, but will it be enough?
Well, it could be. Server Error gets a dispel out now. He's got more mobility now that Cthulhu is off the map.
And Server Error goes down. Vidman with the win. Vidman.
Hey, we talked to Vidman. We talked to Vidman before the event started, and he was very, very humble. You know, he's a sleeper.
Was very quiet.
Dude.
He was
very
a sleeper.
Quiet.
He was a sleeper.
I think he's got some more stuff up his sleeve. Impressive gameplay by Vidman.
I'm extremely impressed. I was really hoping to hear about the strategy in that last round, actually.
Well, it's interesting to see how Server Error, who started off so well in the tournament, when he got matched up with someone that's a little more at his skill level.
Or was it strategically, or in your words, strategery done?
Strategery speaking.
Vidman may have planned this all along. He may have planned it all along. I don't know. Like you said, like you talked to him earlier, he's a very humble person, very quiet.
Yeah.
And in this VR world, man, everything's new, and we can't really figure out who's going to win in these type of matches. VR Esports is very, very new. It's very, very fresh, and we're seeing a lot of upsets, and we're seeing a lot of really, really good gameplay right now.
Yeah, the top tier players and their mastery of the Blackjack class just demonstrate a whole new level.
I'm actually shocked that Blackjack was made in this event.
Why's that?
I was ready to see some kinesis action. I was waiting to see some big throws and stuff like that, and it just didn't happen.
But when you think about, you know, the kinesis player, you've got enough of a combo built up because he's a heavy player, right?
Yeah.
So when you bring in the mass, it still gives you enough time to do some of your other spells that kind of correlate with that, and it could be a big hit. Like I'm talking like 50%, bro. But I don't know. I don't know if that's even possible when you're playing someone like a Server Error or Vidman, who are constantly firing their primal spells at you and drowning your health. It's like you have to do it once, and you have to do it really well if you're going to be the connector.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, at this point now, the best thing we can do is just find out from Anna what Vidman was thinking and what his strategy was. So, Anna, let's go.
Thanks so much, guys. We're here with Vidman. You just won your first semifinal. You got it. How did you feel? How do you feel right now?
I feel pretty good. It was a very, very good match. Great opponent.
A great match. You guys were neck and neck there.
We were.
Tell me, did you have any like strategies going into this round, or?
Mostly more on what I was kind of thinking about was mostly primals, because primals are 90% of this game, and then you have filler, which is discs. And in this update, we are actually heading backwards from an update from what we're playing at home, and the discs from Blackjack are so fast. They're unbelievably fast. You can just completely punish on every teleport. It's crazy. Other than that, I think mostly just primals. You just have to constantly be thinking about how you're going to win primals.
Cool. How do you feel about going forward in the competition? How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling pretty okay.
Yeah?
I think that's going to be a great match. It's going to be very tough.
Yeah, he's been out of breath here. I told him to catch his breath before he heads back in. All right, cool. Well, thanks for chatting with us, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
You got this. We're going to head back to our casters.
Optic J.
Yeah.
We're seeing some intense gameplay here.
Yeah.
Some intense gameplay. I'm seeing a lot of very close wins right now.
Yeah.
And I think it's just going to get more and more as this goes on.
Yes, absolutely.
Obviously, the next matchup we have is going to be Charizard, who's #1 on the leaderboards. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't make predictions now. Everything's been thrown. Everything's thrown out. We lost our script. Everything's gone. I mean, somebody threw out my Kit Kat. I'm really upset about it.
Let's look at a replay then, and just kind of evaluate what happened here. Look, we talked about this before the match even began. We said it's going to be an exchange of their primals. You heard from Vidman himself in the post-game interview. He just wanted to win his primals. So let's focus on that for a second.
They were used a lot.
When they say when you want to win those primals, we're talking about that exchange of fire that happens in between casting spells, in between going from podium to podium, and of course, collecting your embers. And you want to win those primals. They are so important because they really do bring you down to that next level of health, or at least your opponent, so you can move on to the next stage.
And this is a very good example of how either the Cthulhu Grasp or having your embers plays a very vital part in this match, because that Cthulhu Grasp at the very beginning was a huge advantage for server error. He just wasn't able to use his embers correctly.
Right.
And Vidman just came back.
You see Vidman too. He landed 2 of the disc blades. That's so mission critical to do when your opponent is below 50% health. Anything that you land is going to be super significant in that regard. But to land 2 in a row in short succession, that's incredible, man. You're on your game at that point.
And with that, guys, we're headed to another break. When we return, the second match of our semifinals. Stick around.
Where is that idiot apprentice? Hello? Where are you, my little dewdrop? Aha! Sleeping as usual. Wake up, fool! Wake up! Are you mad, sleeping at a time like this? The master has been kidnapped by a villainous sorcerer, and the only ones who can save him are myself and... Oh, the gods help me. You. Hurry, child! There's an army of enemies between us and poor Mage Alguin. So gather your mystic ingredients and craft your spells of fire, ice, wind, and lightning, and craft them well. Trust me, you're going to need them. The sorcerer's minions are many, from disgusting little goblins to the clattering, chattering undead, to huge and hideous giants, to wicked wizards nearly as powerful as Mage Alguin's kidnapper himself. Not to mention the fiendish traps and puzzles and secret doors he's put in our way to mangle, muddle, and confound us. Are you ready for all that, my little flea's breakfast? Are you? I certainly hope so. Otherwise, we're doomed. Well, come on then. Better get to it.
Welcome back to Oculus, the Unspoken Tournament, here at the Mixer NYC studio at the Microsoft Store, flagship 5th Avenue. I'm Anna Roisman, and we're going to see what you guys have been saying on social. We've got user GramQuest said that curved disc is everything. I mean, you got that right. We've seen it do a lot of damage today, especially in that last match between Vidman and Server. And we've got another thing. We've got another quote from Say Hi John. He said, "Vidman did so much right in that last round." Praise to you, Vidman. And he didn't say that, I did. When you're out of breath, though, you know that you gave it your all. That is very true. He did give it his all. And we've got user Amused Bystander. They suggested that players should have to wear wizard robes while they play. That's a great idea. Then we're getting a little like Harry Potter territory, right? I would pay so much money for that, y'all don't even know, he said. That's all for now, you guys. We're going to keep chatting on social so I can keep reading your comments. But for now, we're going to take it back to our casters.
Thanks, Anna. We're heading into the second semifinal match of our tournament. We've got Charizard versus Nerdburglar. Optic J, first. Where are robes? I heard there are wizard robes, and I want to wear one.
I feel a little let down right now. I wanted a Gandalf hat, but they yelled at me. Look, heading into this match, I almost don't know what to say. I've been waiting to see how Charizard squares off against someone using his own strategy of that late game strategy that develops, and you're like, oh my gosh, you just, for lack of better terms, pull out like a wild card, right?
It's going to be one of those where it's going to be a strategy and one that comes out just blazing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be whether or not he's going to be able to withstand all that damage in the beginning for his strategy to play out.
Right.
Or is it going to be the guy comes out just blazing out damage and it's going to confuse and thwart. But I think Charizard, he's used to that. I think.
Yeah.
He's been playing this for a long time. He's #1 on the online leaderboards. And a lot of the top players right now are very quick when they play.
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of used to that type of game style anyhow. But again, as we've seen in the last couple of matches here, there's no real way to predict something like this.
Yeah, well, you know, Charizard's gonna focus on those primals. I envision Charizard on this primal battle, boom, the big play.
And also dispelling. Dispelling is a huge thing on this. We've seen many summons that have just been dispelled quickly.
You'll see perfect blocks all over the place.
And that's a key element. And you know, these are two really high-level players, so we're probably gonna see a lot of that, which may extend some of these matches, which makes me feel good because that's a lot of good gameplay. It's a lot of good content to watch, and I, for one, am excited.
Yeah, ideally, we might even see the first entire round be just like a complete primal battle, right? Everyone's spamming back and forth, and then as you see in round 2, they kind of warm up a little bit. Someone starts to take the risk.
And this is the first esport that we can actually say the physical toll that somebody's putting into playing on VR. This is great for your body. This is great for your health. This is something that your parents can get mad at you, and your family and your friends can get mad at you for being oh, stop playing, sit around playing video games. Like they're moving their body, they're getting their blood flow, and they're enjoying themselves. And to me, this is I think a good futuristic move into esports.
It's the next evolution of esports for sure.
This is insane.
I'm excited to see it. Okay, what do you think from this match could be surprising?
What I see surprising is very quick gameplay by Charizard.
Okay.
That would surprise me. If he came out very quick with primals just off the bat and just tap, that would surprise me. That would be to me saying that he's switching his game style. With that being said, is that a bad thing? We don't know, because everyone knows that's how he plays. Maybe he's switching it on purpose. I mean, what are you looking at that might shock you?
Yeah, well, you know, I almost think a counter end game tactic coming in from Nerdburglar. And as we get started, we'll kind of see, you know, how that really shapes up. But if Nerdburglar can counter, perhaps dispel Charizard's usual endgame strategy, that would be exciting.
Well, here we go. It is Nerdburglar and Charizard in the semifinals. Not playing around, playing for keeps.
Playing for keeps. Charizard throwing in already aggressive at Nerdburglar. He drops him about a little over 50% of his health.
Charizard taking a little bit of damage right there.
Yeah, but nobody's moving. These are slow primal battles.
Yeah, nobody's moving
right
now.
2 Ember Stones picked up by Nerdburglar back at his home platform, but dropped to nearly 50% health.
Oh my goodness, taking serious damage. Charizard nailing on Nerdburglar right now.
Look, we called it. Charizard's playing the primals.
He is.
He's playing the primals. He wants to win his primal battles. Cthulhu comes up on Charizard. He's got limited mobility.
Oh, he just took a pretty good hit. But
great dispel.
Nerdburglar used the Cthulhu grabs while Charizard's platform had a shield on it, like a deflector, so probably not the best time to do that.
Wild card comes out from Nerdburglar. All at once. He did not save any for the platform.
Cards.
Charizard's taking hits, but he's still returning the primals.
Yeah, he's returning them right back. He's playing the speed that we're used to him playing, which is playing into his favor right now.
Okay, now look at this. Here's where the prediction comes in. Charizard does have 1 Ember. It is late game for Nerdburglar. Looking at his health, are we going to see that typical strategy, the end game closeout, the fatality of sorts?
I think Charizard could all of a sudden now do some quick primals and pretty much take Nerdburglar out.
Wild cards coming out from Nerdburglar. That's the second time he's called him. That was a pretty good
decent amount of damage from those wild cards.
Cthulhu's up. He's got nowhere to go.
Nerdburglar out in the first round of this match.
Woo. Hey, but he did really well.
That was, like I said, this is not going to be a sweep, I don't think. I think these are going to be very evenly matched rounds, and both players are playing extremely well.
Definitely.
But it's hard to predict right now.
Charizard has that opening strategy too, where he stays on the home platform and he'd rather focus on the primal battle versus the movement.
Exactly.
And I think that's okay. You know, early on in the tournament, we were kind of perplexed by that. But when executed properly, like Charizard does, that's why he's the best in the world. We see it come out and ultimately move.
And what we're looking at right now, again, is Nerdburglar holding his own. He's not feeding too much into him being too aggressive right now because he knows Charizard's being a little bit more strategic. So I think he's slowing down a little bit too and putting some good hits on Charizard as well. And Charizard down to half health with Nerdburglar. They're pretty much neck and neck right now in this match. So right now it's going to be about what are
more wild cards coming in. Oh, the Dispel gets rid of the wild cards and the Cthulhu's Grasp. Exceptional defensive play by Charizard. Now he's got the disc spinning up, getting ready to fire into Nerdburglar. Nerdburglar moving out of the way before the disc hits him. Primal battle now, back at the home platforms, baby. This is awesome semifinal action. This is the way it should go.
This is the way it should go now. It's up to Nerdburglar whether or not he's going to be able to keep up with that type of momentum. But as we've seen before, Nerdburglar is a bit more fast-paced, so he should be able to keep up with that going into the last about 20% of health from both of them. Neither one going for the summons, by the way.
No, I'd imagine they're both going to ignore it on this. Not even one shot's been fired at it.
This is a summons free. Oh, no. Oh, Charizard. He's okay. They're fighting over it now.
Hey, Charizard's always got a plan. He moved and teleported to that podium where he'd be defended on his right side so he could shoot it on the left. He now takes over the summons.
And he got the summons. Now, it's a matter of whether or not Charizard's even going to do this or whether or not he was using the strategies to keep it away from Nerdburglar.
My prediction is he doesn't. Nerdburglar already did the Dispel.
Charizard getting close. Going back to that safe platform right now so he doesn't take those direct hits anymore.
Charizard
I
think Charizard would have used it if
he did. He went for the summons. Wow. Now, will it be Dispel?
Oh my gosh, here we go. Super close. No, Nerdburglar already
he's already gone. He's already gone. He didn't even get the Serpent's chance. Charizard with the 2-0 sweep.
That is interesting, and let me tell you why. Nerdburglar was facing the Cthulhu's, but he was also facing the summons. He dispelled the Cthulhu, and that delayed the summon from Charizard. Interesting, but Charizard still bounces back and does it.
I was thinking
He's
that
the best late game player
Charizard was taking the summons just to take it from Nerdburglar.
Right, just to hold on to it.
That's what I thought, which would have been a great, to me, it was a great strategic play too.
Either way.
Some people might, that's actually a really good strategy.
Yeah.
Just get it just so that they don't have it and don't worry about summoning it.
Right, right. Well, everyone always says that Charizard is more of the, I would say that the initial assessments are wrong. They always say that all he likes to do is overwhelm his opponent. I'd actually say it's a little bit different. He wins his primals only because he's setting up for that final endgame blow, which you see just happen. Even though his plan got thwarted, the Dispel came out, got rid of the Cthulhu, he still bounced back and he still launched it. You can't do anything about it.
It was good gameplay by both people. Right. I mean, it was both their strategies working to the best of their abilities. In the end, though, Charizard, which I didn't see Charizard as a summons type of person going into that type of round, especially when you're trying to sweep somebody. But he did it anyway. It still worked.
Right.
Dispelling is an amazing defense, but at the same time, it's kind of hard when you have a serpent, 3 serpents, and Cthulhu Grasp, right in front of you.
Let's talk about Nerdburglar. He multiple times pulled out Wild Card and used it. And we didn't see many discs coming out. Well, Wild Card does considerable damage, but I don't think enough to put someone like a Charizard into a desperate position. Now, he landed him as well. But
he's not used to pressure.
Right. But on top of that, we saw like Nerdburglar, all of his wild cards would just hit the same podium every time. He wasn't waiting for a teleportation to take place to take advantage of that cooldown and hit the person while he's caught off guard. So I was a little surprised to see that from
but at the same time, again, I think the pressure is really high. I mean, you've got people like I remember, the first event that I went to, I'm pretty sure you can as well, and you're in a VR headset, you can't see the people around you, it's a big production going on, and you want to perform your best, and you want to try some really good stuff, and their competitiveness now has got to be, for them, at an all-time high, because this is very new, and they're one of the first people to pioneer at the very first VR actual live event.
Absolutely. Well, let's take it into a replay and kind of assess what we saw happening on the screen. Now, as we said before the match started and multiple times throughout, it's an exchange of the primal battles. Charizard back and forth. I mean, the round opens up.
That platform for Charizard really played a huge factor in his win.
Yeah, and I think that's why he always stays there. He's very confident in his ability to execute on the primal level.
There's no reason to move with that shield there, especially when you have a Cthulhu Grasp there, around you. You can just stay there. You can take a little bit of damage. You can wait for those to go away.
And it wasn't until round 2, you see where the podium that Charizard's at. He usually goes to the bottom left podium, but when round 2 came in and the orb came up to get the summoners, he actually went finally down to his bottom left platform. He was shielded on his right. That gave him the ability to ultimately pull in the orb and summon the serpents. Smart play coming in. Here's what I'm talking about. The spells coming in.
It was used very, very well.
On the wild card. It's insane.
And that one fully charged disc that Nurburgler had, Charizard waited till the last second to move because he was working on a spell, and that's how you can tell the level of competitiveness and strategy that he has.
Right.
Is that he knows how much time he has. He's already working on something. His ability to multitask while being able to play offensively and defensively at the same time plays huge factors. But again, Nurburgler playing extremely well, with this type of level of intense gameplay.
Now here's what we were seeing earlier. Charizard knew that the orb was going to move to the other side of the map. So as the orb gets ready to transition to the top side of the map, you see Charizard getting ready to transition to the bottom side of the map. So he's defended. He takes over the orb. Cthulhu's Grasp gets dispelled. That's where his plan was thwarted the first time, but it's not enough to keep a guy like Charizard down because his endgame strategy is always the thing that he has in mind. And here comes the final summons, ultimately to end the round. It was a good dispel, though.
It was a good dispel.
Great dispel by Nurburgler.
He just had too much going on.
Yeah, way too much going on.
He had way too much going on. I mean,
he got a little flat at the end there too, but even the summons didn't do anything. It was just enough to distract the player.
Like it was almost Charizard used the summons as like a cool exit for him.
Right.
Like I just want 3 snakes when I win.
Yeah,
that's all I want. When I win, I like 3 snakes.
Well, I agree with the chat when they said that was a perfect dispel at the end. So at least you have a player like Nurburgler who knows how to defend against late game, high caliber play from Charizard.
Now, talking about playing this game in the physicality of it, getting into playing this on a more professional level, because as VR becomes more professional esport and as it becomes more popular, I see this as being a really, really physically demanding job.
Right.
If you become being a full-time Call of Duty player, like we both know, you go home, you play Call of Duty, you play with your friends, you're online, you're moving your hands, but for VR, this is going to be a next level commitment for your mind, for your body, and you're going to start seeing athlete abilities from people playing VR because moving around much and all this, taking care of your body, like you're going to take care of your body more, and honestly, seeing this evolve really excites me. I think it really does.
Me too. Look, if you're a personal trainer, get ready. You're about to be busy. Because I think, traditionally you look at esports and you see the League of Legends, the Call of Duty of the world. You've got coaches out there, mainly in League of Legends, right? Not so much in Call of Duty, but these coaching jobs are coming up. So whether it's CSGO or League of Legends, you have these coaching roles. I think for this, if this ever gets to a point where we see these players wanting to bring on more staff members, it could be that physical trainer that really gets them in shape.
And again, this game is not like. The great thing about what Insomniac's done is this isn't a game where you play it and you have to keep paying for new classes. Everything's free after you buy the game. It's like, was it $29.99?
Yeah. Beyond
for a VR game.
Beyond affordable.
And you've played this game. Yeah, we play. It's extremely well optimized.
Yes.
Like there are games that aren't even in VR that can't even get optimized, and this game is extremely fluid and optimized. Insomniac includes all the new maps and includes all the new. The casters free.
Yep.
They give this all to you for free, and that's amazing that they've worked with Oculus and teamed up to do this type of thing.
Yeah.
Not to mention Oculus being able to take a step forward and go, we want to make an esports event out of this. And we want to make the first ever actual in-person tournament. To me, that says a lot. That says that there's a lot of backing for this and there's a lot of talent for this. And what's going to happen very soon is that VR esports will be one of the most popular things that you can do, not just from a gaming standpoint, but from a health standpoint.
Absolutely. I mean, we heard it discussed earlier too. It's not going to be so much about the actual competition. It is going to be about people participating in that competition from a spectator point of view, right? So imagine if you're wearing that headset and you're able to be in the arena right? You're now front row seat. You're not, front row seat is no longer a thing. It's now I'm just a part of the competition. Right? I don't have to worry about front row seat. If I can just sit there and be a part of the competition, right? I've got spells flying over my face. Maybe some of them hit me, you know, sporadically and all that. I love that.
The question is now, will there be an optic VR team?
We'll have to find out.
Will there be can I get an optic Oculus? Optic Oculus.
An Opticulus?
Opticulus?
It's another, I'm really bad at
Opticulus sounds like a disease.
It does.
I suffer from Opticulus.
It does.
But, man, I mean, this is...
Look, given on what you know now, who's going to win this tournament?
We're still in semifinals. They got Charizard with his first win.
Yeah.
I mean, Nurburgrer could come back, but as far as taking it all the way, I mean, I'm gonna go Vidman.
You're gonna go Vidman. Okay.
What?
This gets interesting.
Audience is getting upset. I can vote for whoever I want to win.
Well, that is
How
interesting.
dare you?
Look, I will say this. Charizard versus Vidman and their primals, you know, all the primal battles, I would say Vidman has them a little bit on the edge. We'll talk about that more in a second.
Okay. As we go into match number 2, Charizard with the advantage of having won. So right now, he's hoping to close us out.
Right.
Nurburgler hoping to stay alive. And
for Nurburgler, it is all on the line. The first numbers are up on the map. Charizard takes number 1, along with Nurburgler closely behind, moving strategically around the map. The exchange of blows continues, but Nurburgler almost down to 50% health. Who's going to be the first one to cast an Ember, and what's it going to be? Obviously, most likely a Disc, Gronk, Elastic Circle.
Which is actually kind of strange because Charizard's not even getting enough time himself.
Right. Collecting
He's
second
playing
Embers.
aggressively right now. He's going closer to Nurburgler. I mean, Nurburgler's taking a serious amount of damage. It looks like Charizard's actually playing aggressively instead of strategically. And it's paying off for him right now.
Cthulhu's up against Charizard. He's got limited mobility, but the Dispel comes in super quick.
Yeah, super quick. I mean, he's not playing around. I'm actually kind of surprised
This could be
to see
interesting.
that Charizard.
Orbs at the top of the map. Oh, the Embers.
Oh, he's taking serious hits right now.
Yeah, he had to move out
And
of
he's
there.
got Cthulhu Grass right there on Nurburgler. Wow.
Hey, look, if you get Cthulhu Grasp on that corner, you're going to be exposed too much on the bottom side of the map.
And that's the exact opposite of what we've been seeing from Charizard, and it paid off, and I think he did that on purpose. I think maybe he's been holding this towards the end for people to expect him to play a certain way, which is great strategy by Charizard.
He's so stable and well-balanced in the late game that it can really overwhelm an opponent.
You never called me stable.
Well, it's just not true. You're not.
That's true.
That's right.
Going into the second round here, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Charizard playing a little bit more strategically now. He slowed down a little bit. I think he realizes that this is one win away from the finals.
Yeah, absolutely. It's do or die time here. You know, we're starting to round out closer to the end of the day.
Nurburgler is having to hold on right now. He's got the Cthulhu Grasp right now, but Charizard went into a Cthulhu Grasp, but I think it was strategic. I think he went into it on purpose, but Charizard is taking some damage right now.
Well, he's certainly getting punished for it. I mean, that Cthulhu Grasp can stop you enough where if you don't
Oh
get
my
killer,
goodness,
whoa!
and Nurburgler with a massive hit.
Wow, Nurburgler coming in big to keep himself alive as we head into round number 3.
You put him in a corner that's not nice, he fought back.
Oh my goodness.
Do not take his cupcake away either. He's not playing around. Nurburgler, at this point, he's got nothing to lose, right? So he's going full out.
Yeah, absolutely. You may look. Sometimes when you face a very difficult opponent, you start to learn things that you normally wouldn't have learned facing
And the
someone
adrenaline.
who's cool, right? Yeah. So you
Why
start to
not?
think
He's
a
like,
little more
I'm
focused.
going to go out. I'm going with full force. I'm going out to win. I can do this. I'm going to come out with some serious hits, and it paid off this last round.
Yep. Have you noticed how well they are at exchanging when the perfect block comes in? The perfect block with the blackjack, it gets dispelled.
I played this, and I still can't do it as well as these guys can.
Nurburgler getting hit with the disc blades. That's a suffocating blow right there, almost at 50% health.
Charizard going for the
Charizard
in the Cthulhu Grasp.
Again in the Cthulhu Grasp.
He went for it again. I'm not really sure how that's happening, but he's risking.
That disc blade could have done it.
He's risking it for the summon.
I don't know why he's doing that, but man, that is beyond a risk. He's getting punished again.
He's very low, unless there's something I don't know. He's going for the Spectral Cloak.
Spectral Cloak is up. He did not move.
Will he be found out? Will he be found out? Will it
Nurburgler.
give him time? I think he was able to cast it.
Now Nurburgler knows.
He was able to cast it.
Oh my
Charizard
God.
out. Nurburgler with the win again. I am excited. I'm excited by this.
I got chills right there, man.
Can I feel those bumps?
Yes.
Oh my God, I got chills from your bumps.
I just can't
That's probably
believe
bad.
that Charizard did the same thing that cost him the game last time. He went into the Cthulhu. You know, sometimes you can do that really, really well, and you can kill the Cthulhu, and it won't kill you as bad. But man, that one was difficult.
And what's weird is Charizard came out totally opposite the first match. Right? He came out extremely aggressive. It worked very well.
Yeah.
Nerdburglar was expecting him to be strategic.
Right.
The second round, Charizard comes out strategic, and Nerdburglar knew exactly what to do.
Yeah, he did.
So obviously it looks like he was ready for Charizard's typical style of gameplay. So now it's like, does Charizard go back to being strategic in hopes that he can figure out how to beat Nerdburglar? Or does he flip it again and go aggressively and maybe defeat Nerdburglar by using very fast-paced gameplay?
Well, I think we've been shown that Charizard knows he can bleed, right? He knows that he's got some vulnerabilities.
Charizard bled a lot just then.
Yeah, he did.
Like,
but
they got the blood bank outside. Like they need to like do it like
for
a
sure.
withdrawal.
And you know, it was contextual to the mistakes. You know, history did repeat itself. One round he went over to the Cthulhu, tried to grab it and make a play. I wonder what he was trying to spawn out of that though.
I mean, I was actually
what magic was really coming out of that.
He wanted that. He wanted that summon so bad.
Yeah.
He wanted it so bad. Like
so bad.
His health was so low, and like I get it. Like he did very well with the spectral cloak. He was never found out. He was able to cast it. But when you're that low on health and it's this close to just shutting it out, in my personal opinion, clock out for the day. Don't worry about staying in for the overtime. Just clock out. Good day's work.
Yeah.
But now it's pushed him to a 1-1.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be. There's no coasting for Charizard now.
So look, if Charizard goes back to his normal style of play, do you think he's going to close it out? Or do you think Nerdburglar's got his number?
Charizard going back to his normal style of play is what made him lose 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like him going back to being more strategic and trying to go for the strategy, and you know he used the dispels really well on the Cthulhu Grasp, but him slowing down is what lost him those 2 rounds. Him being aggressive the first round is what won him.
Charizard is a player who is proactive, and he forces his players to be reactive.
Yeah.
I felt that the roles switched.
He's forcing a move.
Right. He's forcing a move, and a little dangerous to go in there to a Cthulhu like that when you're at this level of gameplay.
It was weird to see somebody sacrifice himself on the Cthulhu Grasp on purpose just for a summon that close to your health being that low.
Right.
But we're gonna go into.
This is the final map, right?
The final map.
This is insane. Here we go.
And we're going into it right now. This is for all of the magic cookies.
The magic marbles, baby.
The magic marbles. We're not sponsored by Magic Marbles, so do not ask. I just made that up.
You did a great job.
Now Charizard. Now this is his map, by the way.
Right.
He likes a lot of opponents. A lot of commanders like being on that platform because of that that shield, which Nerdburglar actually already blew away. So that's.
I'm super surprised he sacrificed that so early, given that he uses that usually to collect his orb. Now we'll kind of see him dance around a little bit in exchange some primals here, but Nerdburglar already suffocated.
And he's got 2 embers right now. Nerdburglar has 2 embers right now. Charizard finally getting one. Wondering what he's going to use it on.
The Cthulhu is up.
We got the Cthulhu up. Nerdburglar used both his embers while attaining another one. It was dispelled immediately.
Solid dispel right there. Wants his mobility back. Charizard says no way today. Keeps it going, firing back with the primals left and right. It's
a lot
just
of good line of sight right here. It's a lot of good line of sight.
And positioning. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. And Nerdburglar robbing the Charizard.
What did I just see?
I don't know.
Nerdburglar coming in big. That was a devastating blow when he was 50% below.
That was a good case of Gandalf the Wrecked.
Oh, Gandalf the White came in. No more Gandalf the Gray. That was intense, dude. Here
very
we go, moving
good
around the rest of the
gameplay
map.
by Nerdburglar. Nerdburglar taking some very heavy hits. Charizard is going pretty aggressive now. He's coming out a little bit more aggressive now.
Wow. Chat behind us is going pretty nuts as well. Nerdburglar still suffering most of the blows.
Gameplay.
Collecting the first ember of the match, but Charizard back in his customary spot down low with the shield. Solid move by Nerdburglar, despite him being in a position of having least health.
A lot of long-range primary hits. The Cthulhu Grasp out. He's letting it kind of sit for a second. They are going for the orb. They're going for the orb. Now this, honestly, could be it.
If he gets his orb, but look,
if he gets it, but Charizard got it very easily, actually.
Yeah, I think he was led. I think
Nerdburglar was able to take a little bit of damage while he did it. Now, Charizard most likely going to use the Spectral Cloak to try to cast this, but
and
we've got it already going.
Yep, there he goes, down to his home platform.
Now, will it be dispelled at all? Will he be able to dispel them? I don't know.
Here it comes. No, Nerdburglar goes right into it.
No, he's taking massive hits from Charizard.
Nerdburglar. The dispel is up. Still all three of the...
Still. And
special cloak.
This is the same time. This could be savage right now. This could be a very, very big move for Charizard.
This is what we know Charizard to do is end
big
games
hits from the Serpent. He's got the Cthulhu Grasp out as well. He can put a lot of pressure on Nerdburglar. A very huge hit by Nerdburglar. Charizard coming down. Oh my goodness, huge win by Charizard. Wow. Guys, this is it. This is the one match that will take them to the finals. Nobody who loses this match is going to the finals. This is it. You win or you lose. This is it.
Oh my gosh. Scythe, remember how I told you? Charizard likes those endgame late strategies. The Spectral Cloak, he summoned and he pulled off the victory just by a thread. That's
this doesn't get more to the wire than this right now. The next win takes you to the finals.
It does take you to the finals, but this is being played like a grand finals match.
Yeah, this is a finals. If we see anything like this in the finals, even closer, this is gonna be a great finals.
Well, Nerdburglar is suffering the most damage
already
right
at half health right now. Charizard trying to get some primary hits on him right now just to kind of chip away at Nerdburglar's health. Charizard not taking any damage in the last about 30 to 45 seconds. The orb being out again. Cthulhu Grass out by Nerdburglar. Charizard taking another big hit.
A dispel. Solid dispel.
Solid dispel by Nerdburglar, getting that Cthulhu Grasp out.
He's going. He got the
summons again. Now this is going to be crucial. This could be something he thinks about the rest of the day. Should I have tried to get?
There it is, the Spectral Cloak. We're seeing the late game Charizard come out.
Oh, nice! He does get the summon out. Now will he be able to dispel this in time without taking enough damage?
Charizard does go to the Spectral Cloak.
Charizard, this is a good moment for Charizard.
Oh my gosh, a solid dispel right before one of the summons goes out.
Very nicely done.
Into the Cthulhu Grasp! Into the Cthulhu Grasp! This could be it!
Charizard is very close, and Charizard!
Oh my god!
To the finals!
Wow! Charizard, the late game legend.
This was by no means a Charizard round. This was a fight to the death. This was amazing. Nerdburglar coming from he was in deficit and came back hugely to bring this down to where there were no more wins or losses. This was it.
Charizard is the late game legend.
Nerdburglar.
Late game legend.
GG's to Nerdburglar right now. I mean,
incredible.
Exceptional gameplay right
Clap it out for him.
Exceptional gameplay. Man. And now we have to hear from him himself. I say we pass it to Anna, and we hear from Charizard and see what his thoughts are going into the finals. Anna?
Thanks. We are here with the semifinals winner, Charizard. Sorry, I said your name wrong. Okay, how do you feel right now?
I feel good. I feel a little shaky, but I feel good.
That was like a crazy match. You just came out at the very end. Was that a strategy going in, or was that just how it happened?
I mean, ideally, I wouldn't want it to go into Game 3 behind one match, but Nerdburglar really proved his worth there. He did a great job. Yeah.
Yeah, that was everybody out here was biting their nails. They said that was like a finals round, but it was just the semifinals. So I know we're excited for more. I have to say, the fans out there, they want to know, you won that last round. What kind of ice cream are you going to buy?
Oh, strawberry, definitely. Yeah.
Strawberry ice cream. Wow, I wouldn't have picked that flavor. Cool. Are you feeling good about the next round?
It's definitely going to be a good one to watch. Vidman is definitely a very strong competitive player. We'll see how it goes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else? Any other strategies you have going into the finals, or you just anything you want to tell people at home?
As far as strategies, I know Vidman's out there in the audience listening right now, so
No, we put him in a room. He has headphones. Yeah, no.
Yeah, but Brian wanted me to give a shout out to him, so I know he's watching. He knows who he is.
Shout out to Brian. All right, cool. Well, thank you, and good luck in the upcoming final. We're gonna head back to our casters. They've got a special guest with them. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Thank you so much for taking time with us here, Tim from Insomniac.
I have the wrong hand.
I got the wrong.
Terrible.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Man, that was
That's
terrible.
okay. I didn't want to shake your hand
That's
with
live.
that hand anyway. We did it live though.
That was
But
awful.
Tim, you're from Insomniac Games.
Can we start that over again?
Please do it again.
Tim, thanks for coming on from Insomniac Games.
Oh man, you're screwing with me
See?
now.
Jay?
Can we just do this?
Good job.
Shadow puppets.
Yes.
Anyway, Tim from Insomniac, this is obviously the first VR esports tournament, and you guys are bringing this. And you guys are bringing your title for that. What are your guys' thoughts right now, and how do you guys feel about this event and going into future esports for you guys?
I mean, this is exciting. This is like, it's new for us in terms of competitive gaming. We've done some competitive games in the past, but nothing like this. And to be involved in this esports world is real exciting for us. And it's just, going to these events is so intense. Like, I'm kind of shaking from that last match.
Oh no, it was ridiculous.
And you know, it just speaks to how watchable this game is, and it's so fun to watch. And we've seen it at events. People will gather around and watch, and they're like, "What are we watching? We don't care. This is amazing." So, you know, we need to get them to know what they're watching. But we're excited about it. It's awesome.
Now, have you seen, as far as like the reception, the overall reception I've seen over the internet the last couple months? You guys have been holding tournaments in Texas, North Carolina, all over the United States. DreamHack that Optic Gaming and I were at. You know, the reception from this has been, everyone's so glad that they're finally able to take their love for VR and make it a competition, and not only a competition full of drive and adrenaline, but it's a very friendly atmosphere. Everyone's really close with each other. Everyone's really happy to be a part of it. There's no rivalries, but only friendly competition, and everyone's having a good job with this. As far as you guys moving in with this game and the future of this game, what are your guys' plans moving forward with this game, and have they changed since this whole esports tournament thing has started?
Well, they've certainly changed in terms of balancing the game, right? So we're doing things now that we know are geared towards the more competitive players. We're taking their feedback more, we're involving them in beta tests more. But we do have other modes coming for more casual players as well, because we want to grow this player base so that we have more competitive players. And we've introduced a new mode called Spar mode, which allows more casual players to learn how to play the game without the competition. And then hopefully that translates to them going into ranked and actually taking on the leaderboards.
Now, I was talking with Jay earlier, and Jay and I are extremely huge fans of this right now. We've come from the competitive scene. I mean, Jay's been out longer than I have been, but you know, we come from a competitive scene where games that come in, even if they're competitive and they're fun to play, if the entertainment value isn't there, if they're not fun at events, and Hector, from the CEO of Optic Gaming, has said this a million times, your coworker and your friend has said this, if it's not entertaining to watch, it will never be a good esport. And this game is extremely fun to watch. Yeah. Like the intensity.
Thank you.
Just us, like when we're casting this, we're just getting all shaky and we're like yelling at each other about who's winning this match. And there's no way to really accurately cast it with that much intensity going on. We're trying as fast as we can, but the action in this game really speaks to how much fun seeing this in a stadium one day will be. And honestly, with you guys teaming up with Oculus with this, I personally, and I know Jay, I think, and everyone here in the audience and all the competitors extremely are thankful that you guys are bringing this to esports.
Yeah, it's been fun, and we're not done yet. I mean, we got a lot more stuff coming out this year, and hopefully, like I said, we have some additional events in the works, and hopefully this is just the start.
Yeah. Now, what are you expecting to see in the finals? We're gonna go to break here in a second, but I need to know what your thoughts are.
Well, before this all started, I predicted Charizard would win. I'm a little less confident, but I'm still sticking with it. Vidman, I think it's gonna be an amazing match. Probably one of the best we've seen.
Okay,
so
one name, count of three. Who is it? 1, 2, 3.
Char's Vidman.
Char's Vidman. Nice.
Jay?
I'm gonna go with Charizard because he's the end game legend.
I'm sticking with Vidman. I'm sticking with him.
Hey, and that's no dog at Vidman. He obviously is super solid.
I'm sticking with who you guys are sticking with.
Anyway,
that's good. It's
Tim, thank you so much for talking with us. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be back with more Unspoken Action Finals.
Hey guys, welcome back to Oculus, the Unspoken Tournament here at the Mixer NYC studio at the Microsoft Store, flagship 5th Avenue. I'm Anna Roisman, and we are here getting hyped for the finals. Let's see what you guys are saying to us on social. On Twitter, our user Good Better Fine said, the semifinals were both so close, nail biters, Embers almighty. I have to say, those Embers were everything in that last match, right? We were all biting our nails here. User X Skits said that he loves how much you can improve in this game if you really grind it out. That's very true. It's like I always say, how do you get to Chicago arenas? Practice, 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 right? With everything. And then we've got Zen Chess. They said that he likes the dynamic between our two casters. One is all about game mechanics, and the other talks about the abstract. You guys, very true. You guys didn't mention that they are also hilarious too, which is obviously my favorite part. That's all I have for now from you guys. We want to hear from you, so you guys definitely hit us up in the chat. But for now, we're going to take it back to our casters.
Thanks, Anna. We're headed into the finals match of our tournament. We've got Vidman321 versus Charizard. Now, Scythe, what are you thinking about this match?
I'm a little upset about the last comment.
Because I said you weren't the funny one?
It's okay. Honestly, I'm calling this, I'm sticking by it.
Yeah?
I want Vidman to win.
Okay.
But Charizard is really, really good. But the problem is, going to these finals, we're talking about two really, really good people.
Right.
We're talking about two players who strategize very well. Okay. They play off their opponent extremely well. They dispel, which works, like people don't realize how important and crucial dispelling is. They collect embers really well. I haven't seen them use the imp at all.
Yeah.
Neither one has used the imp at all.
I think I saw Charizard use it once. Well, let's find out right now.
Let's find out right now. Let's
Look,
get
my
right
overall
into
assessment as we jump right into the match is that Charizard...
We come into the match, but they look like they already are wanting to end the match because they are already going back to back to back.
My endgame assessment on this is this. Charizard is going to obviously focus on his endgame because he's the endgame legend. Vidman is a little bit better at winning those primal battles, so we're going to see it kind of how it's going to balance out here at the end. And Charizard is almost at 50% health though, just starting off.
Charizard's on the other side. He's usually used to being on that left side where he's got that shield on platform.
Right.
So this might play into Vidman's advantage a little bit. Although they're like 1v1ing each other right now. Like
Charizard is suffering massive blows. He did miss the disc blade going around and kind of swung way wide to the left here. He's now firing back shots at Vidman, but it is nearly about 20%.
Charizard down to about 10% health. Well, we know he's an in-game player.
Yeah.
That's
he's got
pretty
no
far
embers.
in the end there.
Now he's got it.
He's got no embers. He's at 10% health. Is it too
Here goes
much
the imp.
He's using the imp.
The imp is flying out to try to grab an ember that doesn't exist.
He's
there it is.
Taking the embers away from
a dispel used on the imp. Charizard is prevented from getting the ember. Oh my goodness.
Extremely good play.
Final blows coming in here. Will Charizard
down.
fall in game one? Vidman getting ready to fire in some massive projectiles here. This is what we want out of the grand final. Cthulhu's Ghost says now Charizard loses game one.
Charizard takes a loss on game one.
Oh my gosh. Hey, you could be right.
I don't want to say that I called this.
But it is only game one. It is only game one.
Let the funny man be smart for a second. Here we go into round two of the first match. Charizard and Vidman both using primaries back to back to back. Vidman again using the advantage of having that platform with a shield on it, which usually Charizard again is on, but he is kind of at a, you can tell he's moving a little bit more sporadic than he's used to. I think it's because he's not used to being on that side.
Look, I think Vidman has his number. Vidman, again, in his interview a few hours ago, basically said it's about the primal game, and I keep bringing it up because I feel like it's the most critical.
It really is. No, I
gotta win the primal battle.
Definitely agree.
If you get those primal spells off and you drag your people below that 50% health, it becomes dangerous because then you're setting yourself up for the late game, grabbing the embers. Look at Charizard already, below 50% health. Same with Vidman. Now they're exchanging fires back and forth.
It's very close right now.
This is the intense battle that we wanted out of a primals. Charizard's got 2 embers. He could throw them up at any time. A 3rd ember in the bottom right corner. It's stolen by the imp.
The imp stealing the ember, which is crucial in this game.
But Vidman, one more kill and he's done. Cthulhu's Grasp is up. Charizard.
Vidman's gonna
using the dispel so he can get around to other maps. Charizard now got 2 embers. Here we go.
This is very close. Vidman is down to about 5% health. Can he make it in there? He's 1 hit away. Oh my goodness! The huge play. Who's the next hit? Who is the next hit?
Oh
and Vidman goes down.
Charizard,
amazing play by Charizard. Fantastic play by Charizard. Charizard should have had it.
He should have had it.
Vidman with a fantastic play to bring it down to a hairline of health for both of them.
Yeah.
And then it just came down to the first person to tap him.
It did, and they were stealing each other's embers left and right. One had 3 for a second, and then the other had 3 for a second. Charizard now facing the 50% health again within the first 15 seconds of the match.
I think they realized
this entire time.
This is for the money. This is for the money. This is for the computer. This is for the Oculus. This is for everything right now.
This is for everything. Here we go. The Primal Battle exchanging rates of fire that we haven't seen like any part of the other tournament before. Vidman now down below 50% health. The Imp at least brought him another Ember. This could bode well in his favor if he's able to get off one of the discs. He's going to use the disc. Here goes the disc.
Oh, he didn't use it.
He did not use it
He did not use the disc. Now we got the orb in the middle.
I would not use the orb in the middle if I were Vidman. I would continue to play the Primal
Charizard
game.
going for it.
Charizard got the
takes it. He's really notorious for taking these summons. Now, he's going to use a Spectral Cloak. Oh, he didn't move. And that may... he did get it off in time. Will Vidman dispel it? Will Vidman use the Dispeller and be able to take these Serpents out?
There's a Dispel. The Serpents are almost done. They're
almost done. They're very close to done. They have Charcoal. 1 down, 1 Serpent down, 2 to go. The Cthulhu Grasp is out. Vidman is at a disadvantage, but can turn this around.
Oh my gosh, the perfect block.
Yep.
He was almost able to spark a fireball from the Serpent. Now
very good job, Vidman.
Pieces of health left.
Shakes down again to the second round, and Charizard with the win to take the first round.
Oh my gosh.
Charizard taking the first round 2-1 with the last 2 wins of the last 2 matches. Very good gameplay by both Charizard and
that's intense, man. My heart is beating very fast. Especially.
Okay, we're talking none of them had 5% health towards the end.
No, they didn't.
Every match was down to the last tap.
Yes.
Honestly, looking at this strategy-wise, there's not much either one could really do at this point to improve.
Yeah.
They're both playing their game, what I feel is at their height of their ability.
Yes.
And it's basically going to be who gets the better hit and the position of the platforms, I think. I think it's going to be where somebody's standing and getting hit at the right time.
I mean, you're seeing the best Primal battles on display, right? It's using that Primal battle as best you can to your advantage up front. And that's a map that is spread out, right?
Honestly,
I mean, you've got to really be accurate.
That's why I think predicting maybe a movement when somebody moves when the Cthulhu Grasp was cast out, casting out at the right time. I've seen plenty of matches so far where somebody moves platforms and somebody casts a Cthulhu and they go right onto it.
Right.
That could be the meaning of one of these matches right now, because right now they're using everything else very well. I saw the Imp being used and utilized well from both sides. Which right now, they're using their Embers very well, so taking the Ember from somebody else using that Imp is, to me, a crucial final right now. That's something that you're going to want to have in this final, is for them not to have any Embers.
I mean, even for winning the second round there, the Imp kind of came in big. You saw Charizard pulling up with 3 Embers and was able to use those to the best of his advantage and ultimately pull ahead. And then you see kind of a similar strategy being pulled out by Vidman. So we have a great exchange happening here, both from the strategic side and the primal side. And that's the combination. That's the height of the Unspoken. That's what we came here for in New York City for the Grand Finals.
This is not a disappointing finals whatsoever.
It's not. And we're at Pulaski Circle now. Both enemies exchanging battles, exchanging the primals at each other.
2 blackjacks on Pulaski Circle, Jack.
You think so?
2 blackjacks on Pulaski Circle.
Oh, I thought
we
you
can
said
curve
different.
some discs on this map if they really want to. They can curve some fully charged discs to do some really, really good damage if they have enough time, because both of them are playing very fast right now.
Absolutely, and I think Charizard is going to kind of adapt to Vidman's early game primal strategy.
I've noticed that. I've noticed that he's starting to speed up a little bit. He's not really waiting too long. There's a disc. He's charging it.
Direct hit with the
Serious
disc.
hit to Vidman and the Cthulhu Grasp. What a combo. He's about 2 hits away. Fantastic combo by Charizard with the Cthulhu Grasp and fully charged disc.
But Vidman was able to dispel despite the fact that we had an Imp come in and steal another Ember. Here we go, the exchange rate up close and personal, but Vidman goes down. Woo, boy.
Now, this could end it.
This could end it.
This match, if Charizard wins this, this is it. This is it.
It's
and we have to go get Happy
here.
Meals.
Yeah. And I care about the toy. I just can't wait for the toy.
I can't.
Charizard now exchanging primal battles with Vidman. They're both about kind of even health. Charizard a little bit less here, but Vidman kind of warping around the rest of the map.
This is going to be where ego
one?
comes into play. Will Charizard get a big ego and try some fancy things, or will he close us out, take the win, and win the tournament?
Well, we saw him lose one official map by taking the risk of jumping on the Cthulhu 2 times in a row.
Yeah, he risked it for the summon. He risked it for the summon.
Displayed out, hits Charizard, brings it to about 50% health, or nearly 50% health. The exchange rate coming in with the primals is still something intense and something to be worthy of just really
Both of them
praising.
right now equally at about 50% health. And
Yes.
you see both of them are playing aggressively. The Cthulhu is, what, he dispelled it. He dispelled it. Okay, very good play. The orb is out. Now this is, I wouldn't even worry about the orb at this point.
Oh
Charizard
my
taking
gosh.
a huge hit.
That's another disc where Charizard has had ample time to move, but he couldn't on
Charizard's
that
very
with the
close.
Cthulhu.
The grass is
Cthulhu's
out. He's
down.
charging up a disc. Very huge hit by Charizard. And
gonna be
it! Charizard
Oh my gosh,
with the win.
congratulations.
Charizard winning
Man.
the first ever Oculus Rift, the Unspoken VR, no, the first VR tournament, period.
Man. What a day in history this is, man. To see it go down in a battle like that.
That was, I mean, I'm sorry, but GG's to everyone right now who competed. This was a very fantastic gameplay and match.
Absolutely.
The finals went phenomenal. Both people should feel good about it.
Oh, yeah, Vidman put up a great fight. Vidman if Vidman sticks with
Vidman
this,
has nothing to feel bad about right now. That was
nothing.
a fantastic gameplay.
Every
by Vidman.
contestant here, they're a top contestant for a reason, right? This is what we want to see out of esports.
There he is. Good job. Fantastic.
This is truly what we want to see out of a virtual reality.
And this is the first VR actual live tournament.
Right.
A lot of things could have gone wrong. The game could have been different. People could have gotten nervous. This was intense all the way down to the end.
I mean, look at the replay here. Let's watch what's happened on this final map. This is the last round. We've got the great exchange rate that's happening between the primals. Everyone's moving systematically and methodically across the map. They're
Primals
collecting
were
their
used
embers.
very well.
They were.
during the finals.
But you notice Vidman took the time to get off more displays in this final
He did.
round here, but Charizard
He was charging up pretty good discs.
still got overpowered, and that was kind of surprising to see Charizard not move twice in that.
I was surprised he kept going for the summon. He was risking it.
Yes.
He used the cloak and didn't move that second time.
Right.
He used the cloak and got hit immediately.
Right, and there was the first one right there. We got hit with the display. I actually thought this Charizard was going to lose this second round here, but again, the late game legend comes in so fast and so strategic. He gets rid of the
Like
Cthulhu
right there,
on that platform.
he risked taking that damage. He did not want to go on the Cthulhu grass. He stood there and he knew if he moved, he would take more damage.
Even knowing, like, look, the display hit him again. That was the second display for the second time when he already had the open podium. He did not move to it. And then
at this
it goes neck
point,
and neck.
it's Vidman's game, but Charizard with that disc, those discs, crucial, which won him the finals.
I think it was an accident for Vidman to kind of go over to the Cthulhu grasp at the end there because he did get stunned up and it just put him right over the edge. So close. Unfortunate. All right, now let's head over to Anna for our final interview with our first ever grand champion, Charizard.
Here we are. We are with Charizard. Congratulations.
Thank
Give me
you.
a high five. You're the grand champion of the first VR national competition. How do you feel?
I feel great.
I mean, I would feel great. Apparently, you get to return home now. This is my van away with a first place cash prize of $1,250, along with a Rift and Touch and an Oculus Ready Vivo PC from Asus. How do you feel? Lucky? Happy?
I was going to say great again, but...
Great. He's just going with the basic great, and he likes strawberry ice cream. Tell me about the finals. I mean, that was a very close game there. You guys, I mean, we were all on the edge of our seat. Did you have any strategies?
Honestly, the strategy was pick dig site first. I was really afraid of Vidman when it came to Flasky Circle. I know he is very on point with his discs, so any amount of leeway that I would give him with that, and I think I heard the casters talking about it before, me just taking 2 discs. You know, I don't think I would have dodged them if I tried, so save the teleport, you know?
Save the teleport. You
yeah.
got it. Cool. Tell me something. How are you going to celebrate?
We're in New York. We've got plenty of ways to celebrate. I don't know. I haven't thought about this
We're
yet.
in New York. I mean, now he's taking us all out to dinner now, right? No, what's happening? Yeah.
Sure, yeah, why not?
Why not? He's in a great. Well, congratulations. It was really fun to watch you play all of those rounds. I feel like you're very chill, you're very humble, but then you know how to attack it in the actual game. So congratulations to you. And I think this was, thanks for making the trip out to New York City. We're so happy to have you, and you gave us a great day of gameplay. That's it for me, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on social, for all the people who commented today. We're going to give it back to our casters. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Anna. We would like to take this moment to thank Microsoft, Insomniac Games, Intel, Asus, and ESL, and all our participants in this amazing tournament.
That's right. And of course, all of you watching at home, thanks, and we'll see you again soon.
And also, guys, thank you, Oculus, for an amazing tournament. Guys, thank you. Good night.
Good night.